Back in the 70s, board games and improv theater had a baby, and it was called the role-playing game. These games allowed a generation of kids to live out their dreams of slaying dragons and saving kingdoms, all while sitting in their bedrooms and basements. Today, gaming has moved into the cultural mainstream, and role-playing games are back with a vengeance. Join us now as 5 of these former kids come out of the basement and onto the internet to experience adventure, mystery, and obscure pop culture references. It's time for Roll for Combat!
Hey there, welcome to Roll for Combat. I'm your GM and host, Steven Glicker, and in this week's show, we have a lot going on. First, we're starting Book 2 of Dead Sons, so this is a perfect opportunity for anyone new to the show to jump right in. We have a big recap of Book 1 and what the adventurers were up to. We have an interview with Jason Keeley from Paizo, where we talk about how he creates a Starfinder adventure path. We talk about Pathfinder version 2. We talk about Pack Worlds, and lots more, including a surprise guest at the end. We also have a brand new contest where we are going to be giving away a free trip to PaizoCon. That's right, free hotel, free airfare, and a badge. All you have to do is listen for details. If you listen to this episode and the next few weeks, and then enter the contest, and you too can win the free trip. Once again, free hotel, free airfare, and a badge. Just listen to the end for details. So many of you are probably new to the show, and I just want to welcome you. Thanks for joining us. Roll for Combat is a Starfinder actual play podcast where we are currently going through the Dead Sons adventure path. We do plan on playing other things, including Pathfinder, as well as other adventure paths that come out, and maybe even 5e. That's right, there is some talk of us starting a 5e channel. These would all be under the Roll for Combat banner. We would just change the subtitle so you can find everything you need right here. As for those of you worried that you missed the previous episodes 1 through 24, where the Roll for Combat crew went through Book 1, don't worry about it. We have a recap, and we have our voice guy doing the recap. So take it away, Roll for Combat voice dude.
The Roll for Combat adventure begins with our 4 player characters. Hirogi, the Lashunta operative. Rusty, the human envoy. Mo, the Vesk soldier. And Tuttle, the Yoxi mechanic, and his battle drone, Cheddar, traveling in a small space shuttle. These 4 have decided to leave their past lives behind and start a new chapter by joining the Starfinder Society, an organization focusing on unraveling the mysteries of the universe. As the players disembark their shuttle, they soon find themselves caught up in a gang war shootout, and their Starfinder Society contact is killed in the crossfire. After the battle, they meet with their new Starfinder Society contact, a Shirin named Chiskisk. Shocked by the death of the Society agent, Chiskisk gives these recruits their first assignment: learn how to work together and find out who killed their contact and why. Meanwhile, the station is abuzz with the recent arrival of the derelict ship Acreon, the whereabouts and fate of its missing crew, and the nature of the mysterious drift rock the ship brought with it. Rumors and speculation are rampant about this ghost ship and its rock in tow. Some saying the Acreon's crew witnessed something significant and were killed to keep it secret, while others saying the entire crew went mad and walked out the airlocks, while others speculating the drift rock contains legendary treasure of lost Galarian, preserved before the planet disappeared. Nobody knows for sure the true story of where this ship came from or what the drift rock contains. Meanwhile, rumors continue, and the Acreon and drift rock remain under guarded quarantine. After exploring Absalom Station and pounding the pavement, the players learn that the gang war is actually a proxy war between 2 powerful factions: the Hardscrabble Collective, a scrappy mining clan that owns the Acreon, and Astral Extractions, a large corporation that hired the Acreon to explore new worlds for resources. Eventually, our players deal with the gangs and solve the murder, which catches the attention of Gevalarsk Nor, Eox's ambassador to Absalom Station. He invites the players for a little chat and explains to them that he is currently serving as a mediator between the two warring factions and who owns the rights to Driftrock. He then offers them a job: explore the Acreon and the Driftrock and learn what happened to the crew. He also sends a small flying cambot, which is recording their every action during the mission. After upgrading their gear, the players take a shuttle to the quarantined Acreon, but one of the warring factions sends a ship to attack them, giving them their first taste of starship combat. After defeating the small enemy ship and boarding the Acreon, they can find no trace of the deserted mining ship's crew, but they do find the ship infested with alien space dog monsters and opportunistic scavengers, space goblins. Rather than killing them outright, the players befriend the space goblins, and the battles with the alien space dog monsters continue, with the goblins by their side. Eventually, all of the alien space dog monsters are defeated, and the Acreon is clear. But Rusty and Mo are infected with void death, a dreadful disease that turns one into a void zombie. Meanwhile, Cheddar suffers an even worse fate: death. Luckily, Tuttle has become a good friend mascot to the Space Goblins, and they offer to rebuild Cheddar in their image, and Tuttle accepts. After a bit of goblin ingenuity and some mad science, Cheddar is reborn again as Cheddar Mark III. Terrifying mishmash of steel, plastic, unconventionally connected wires, unethically sourced biological matter, broken dreams, and educated guesses. The players are both impressed and horrified at the same time. Meanwhile, Mo manages to fight off the void death disease, as does Rusty. Sort of. Rusty was about to succumb to the disease and turn into a zombie, when at the last second he was sent some highly experimental Eoxian medpacks from Gevalarsk Nor, and managed to pull through. However, Rusty and the crew are starting to wonder if the cure was worse than the disease, as he appears to be partially undead now. After licking their wounds and regrouping, the players continue their explorations on the Driftrock, which is honeycombed with tunnels and rooms, and learn the final fate of the Acreon's crew: void zombies galore. They also come across an old nemesis, the female android operative Clara 247, who was first hired to kill the players in ship combat, but failed and ended up crash landing on the Driftrock. After being defeated a second time, Clara 247 joins the players and slowly not only earns their trust, but becomes a valuable member of the team. Hirogi even seems to develop a crush on Clara 247. After discovering mysterious metal rooms covered with strange alien symbols, the players learn that the asteroid is incredibly ancient and a fragment of some larger alien structure or artifact, though its exact nature remains an enigma. They also discover the dead body of another person stranded on the Driftrock long ago, a female human named Moriko Nash. She left behind a video recording explaining how she was lost in hyperspace and crash-landed on the Driftrock over 75 years ago. She asks whoever finds her message to take her ship, the Sunrise Maiden, and continue to explore the stars. Finally, the players find a hidden starship bay and the Sunrise Maiden, but it's being guarded by an extraterrestrial monster, a drift wraith. However, the greed of the players easily overcomes the life of the wraith, and they swiftly defeat the beast and claim their new ship. We pick up now with the players on the Sunrise Maiden, leaving the Driftrock and the Acreon behind, pondering where to venture to next.
So there you go. You can always go back and listen to those episodes if you want, or you guys could just jump right in. This should be a perfect place for anyone new to the show. You don't really need to know what happened in the previous episodes, because each book in the adventure path kind of starts the story anew. So all you need to know is that these guys went on an adventure, and they more or less survived, and now they're going to start another adventure. There you go. So after the actual play part, we have our interview with Jason Keeley from Paizo. He works on the Starfinder adventure paths, and we talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, Pathfinder version 2 kinda came out of nowhere, although I had a sneaking suspicion something big was happening, because first of all, they redid their website significantly, which was the first time in 14 years, I believe, since they redid the site. And second of all, this week is Gamma, and Gamma is a trade show and where they basically meet all the vendors and tell them what to buy for the upcoming year. So if anything was going to be big and announced, now would be the time. There was no way they were going to be able to keep this secret. So in the future, if you're ever curious, this is a time of year when things sort of get leaked and big announcements come out. Sometimes these are done in secret, so they might be able to get away with a few things here and there at Gamma, but something this big, zero chance. Also, we talk about the new Pack Worlds book. In fact, he flips through it. We go through the various chapters, and I even have a fun special guest at the end of the interview. Next up, we have the contest to go to PaizoCon. One thing that's very important, this is open to U.S. residents only. Sorry about that. Really can't be flying people from Australia to PaizoCon. But if you live in the U.S. and you want to go to PaizoCon for free with the Roll for Combat crew, and by the way, everyone from Roll from Combat is going to be there. We have a couple of talks, we're going to be playing games, we're going to be hanging out, so you can come to PaizoCon, hang out with us, play games for free. Just listen to the show at the end, we'll give you some instructions, and you too can enter the contest. For those of you who are regular listeners to the show, I usually have some GM and player tips, but because the show is so large, I am going to skip those this week, so we'll have one next week. Finally, I wanted to announce two last things. First of all, this episode actually picks up a little bit later than it should. There was some starship combat that happened right after the guys left the Drift Rock, but after 2.5 hours of listening to it, and even I was bored, and it only really took about 1 minute of game time and about 2.5 hours of real time, I cut it. It doesn't really affect anything, and in fact they even recap the combat at the beginning of this episode, so I decided to make an executive decision to cut that combat. Maybe we'll release it as a Laws episode one day, but it really didn't affect the story in any way. It was kind of boring to listen to, and this is a much more interesting start to the adventure. So, for those of you who are completionists, sorry about that. As for the rest of you, yeah, you didn't miss anything. Finally, I want to announce something personal. I just signed the contracts with Paizo, and I am officially developing Starfinder content for Paizo. I'm very excited. This is sort of like one of those things off your bucket list. It's one thing to create content on your own, but it's another thing to officially create content that's going to be canon. I can't talk about what I'm doing, but I will when I can. But right now, all you need to know is I am officially creating content for Starfinder in the future, so you too can play with something I create. And I guess when I'm talking to Jason, I'm talking to a colleague. Kinda neat. Alright, with that, let's get on to the show. So last we left off, you were in glorious space combat, where your ship was getting hit over and over and over and over again, and people were frantically throwing their supplies into the life pods, knowing that they were going to have to abandon the ship any minute. And then miraculously, with some lucky shots, you disabled the alien vessel that was attacking you. And yet, instead of surrender, they self-destructed and blew themselves up. Why? You have no idea. Otherwise, you have just left space combat, licking your wounds, realizing you're going to have a hell of a bill to fix your brand new ship. And that's it. Last we left off, we have been in space for like maybe 5 minutes since you left the Drift Rock, even though this has been taking weeks of real time. What are you going to do?
Yeah, we got really lucky hitting that critical hit on the same system, I think, 3 times. Something ridiculous.
John Statz is playing the Vesk soldier Mo Dupinsky.
Well, there's nothing to salvage. We established that last time. So I think we should open up comms to see what Absalon Station says. Or at least report. I guess it's standard to report, a space interaction maybe. But I just want to make sure that they're cool with us before we actually go to Absalom Station and then be surrounded like, the Millennium Falcon going to Cloud City and just, oh, wow, they don't like us here. So
do we want to consider a white lie and not tell them that we came from the Drift Rock, just in case they try to put us in quarantine?
Jason McDonald is playing the Soki mechanic Tuttle Blacktail and his drone, Cheddar.
I think the lie of omission would probably be better. Actually, no. You know what? We did look at the news feed. I think we did. Was there any news? What happened?
No,
with
you
that?
didn't. You guys haven't. You guys have been out of touch from everything.
Oh, that's right. They jammed us.
Right. They were jamming
Yeah.
you, and you tried to. You basically left. You tried to contact Absalon, and then you were attacked by these guys.
So can we check to see if we're still being jammed?
Yeah, you're not being jammed.
Okay. Let's check the news feed and find out what's going on Absalom.
What did you just spend a little bit of time?
Yeah, before we go there. I just want to do it before we go there and before just dip our toe in the water to find out, what's going on before we commit ourselves to, because we can't fight anybody if the security wants to be jerks to us. We're not in a position to fight. I don't think we don't have any shields. Unless, I don't know. How much can we repair on our own with Tuttle, I guess?
Not much. Basically, the shields will automatically regenerate 2 per minute. So within, I think, of 60 shields, so in 30 minutes, all your shields will come back.
Okay,
but when it comes to, we won't get into that, but, long-term repairs, you got to go to a space dock and have them fix up your ship.
Okay.
You can patch it, which he can do freely now, so he can get everything working, but it's still, anything you had some crits on and hull damage, that has to get fixed.
Yeah, a few hours wait is no big deal. I just want, what do you guys think about checking the news feed before going to Absalon?
I like that idea.
Chris Beamer is playing the Lashunta operative Hiroji.
Might be good.
Do
certainly.
both at the same time. Head toward Absalom. We can read the news on the way. That's all.
Bob Marquis is playing the human envoy Rusty Carter.
Cool. So give me...
Are they remaking Dune?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Is it?
They should do it as a series. I don't want to see any more movies made from these books.
There was a series.
There was a series. They did it on the Sci-Fi channel.
Yeah, but you guys know what I mean.
A good series. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, just so they don't have to cut out 90% of the book just to do the story. I think somebody posted a story. Gosh, what was it? That's coming out in a movie, but it's like a sweeping epic story. Gosh, I forget what are they making a movie now?
Star Wars?
No, it was from a classic book or something.
The Expanse is a series.
Yeah, see that correctly should be a series. That should not be a movie. Yeah,
Good.
But I can't remember what the
called Star Trek, which I love, the new one. God, it's so good.
So I'm saying the director of it is going to be Denis Villeneuve, who did the most recent Blade Runner sequel as well as Arrival. That's good. He's a good director.
Yeah. Is that going to be a movie?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then it won't be good.
Okay. I don't disagree. I think it's a much more complicated story than could be done.
Yeah. Gosh, there was another book coming out, and I can't remember what the...
I can't believe that was written in 1965 or something.
Dune? Oh, yeah. No, it's great.
Did you read all the Dune book?
All the one Frank Herbert wrote.
Yeah, me too. Then he died.
And then I read one book after by his stupid son and his son's ghostwriter, and 10 to 20 pages in, I went, what the fuck is this crap? And I put it away.
So you guys tune in to the Absalon Station feeds. You sort of spend a little bit of time scanning the various channels, and then something pops up on one of the channels, and then you realize it's you, and you watch it for a little bit, and you realize that there's a commercial, for the reality TV show Drift Rock Quest. Follow the Fabulous Five as they continue their efforts scanning through the Drift Rock. What will they uncover? Who will they see? Will they survive? Will they get off? Find out this week on Drift Rock Quest.
Nice.
And it's us?
Yeah, It turns out that it looks like Cambot has been feeding back what you've been doing, and it's been turned into a reality TV show on the network.
Nobody's going to watch that. That's a ridiculous idea.
Lawyer, I need to talk to my lawyer.
Yeah.
Right, we need to get some payment for that now.
Yeah, lawyer.
Yeah,
also-
that's why I need a lawyer.
We're also into Inception territory here. It's the podcast inside the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not telling you guys about my token right now.
So it looks like they're like a little bit behind, and it's coming up to the episode where you actually find the ship and leave. So it looks like you're right up to almost like up to date with where you were at. So yeah, basically it's the podcast, only video form.
Wow.
You also managed
Ratings?
to...
Can I find the ratings online?
Yes, you can do some quick searches. It turns out the show is insanely popular because everyone wants to know what's going on in the Drift Rock. And it turns out if you guys go to your personal channels, you guys are getting fan mail and marriage proposals and lots of stuff like that. You guys have fans now.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Wow, that is awesome. I hope one of these correspondences turns into another adventure. Okay, well, at least they're not angry at us. So they don't hate us. There's nothing about the quarantine, though?
No, you guys are like minor celebrities. You're like, internet celebrities, which really isn't that much.
And John, keep in mind, do you hate, say, Kim Kardashian, the situation, anything like that? Just because we're stars doesn't mean we're beloved.
Yeah.
I
Oh God, we're Jersey Shore.
I love Jersey Shore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
I
might
wanna
be
be Pauly.
Suki. You might be Snooki or Suki or whatever that choice is.
Okay, I'm a little concerned. Did somebody hire the ship to attack us for ratings?
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah, this might be true.
And could that be why it blew up rather than take prisoners or whatever? Wow, that was really horribly phrased, but you know what I meant.
Yeah. Wow.
Have to goose the ratings. Have to do a little bit of excitement as you leave the rock. Who knows? I guess you can find out.
Well, yeah. Okay, I guess it's safe to go to Absalon. So
You actually contact Absalon Traffic Control, and they hear who you guys are, and they're like, "Oh my God, are you guys the Fabulous Five? Are you coming back from the Drift Rock? Like, hold on." And then a few minutes later, you hear, "Oh yeah, you've been cleared for dock, and we're actually waiving the docking fees. Come on down. We can't wait to meet you."
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Get used to this.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, waiving fees is good.
I don't know if I like everyone knowing my business.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm at. I liked my anonymity. The money and everybody liking me, that's good. But the anonymity is something I've always
there's no
enjoyed.
money in it.
We have no money yet.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's pull in. Yeah, let's just go in and...
So you managed to spend a few more hours flying through space, flying through the Armada, getting to Absalon Station. There's no more attacks. Everything is hunky-dory. You get waved into Absalon with Absalon Traffic Control. You get to the dock, and sure enough, you have no problems. You have actually priority docking in one of the nice docks. It's usually like reserved for like celebrities and like private charters and yachts. So you guys know like this is the high life. Like you guys are doing pretty well right about now.
Nice.
Okay, do I have a chance to make myself up a little bit?
Yeah, of course. You guys have hours.
Good.
Oh, that's
All
right. You have
that's
issues,
fine.
don't you?
Do we well, besides what I brought with me, do we have any actual like makeup or touch-up on us?
No.
I think
Well, I brought some.
might
Don't
have
worry.
a disguise kit actually.
Yeah, I have several wardrobe options. So okay, I'm
Wow.
gonna dress myself up a bit.
Mo is gonna look like a slob.
How is that different from any other day?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
He's not changing his shirt.
Hey, Meatloaf had a look. That's fine.
true.
You do you. That's all right.
Oh, that's it. Name of the Wind. That's what they're making a movie
Oh
of.
yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Sure.
But can you imagine that as a movie? I mean, come on.
No,
That's
it needs to be a series.
exactly.
How about the Dark Tower? Oh wait,
Yeah.
Warcraft would have been great as a series.
I don't
I
know.
saw it in the theater.
Okay, so you get onto the docking. Do you guys exit? Are you all sussied up and exit the ship?
I'm wearing my formal clothing.
Yeah.
I've used my hygiene kit to put a little dab of makeup here and there. So yeah, I'm ready.
I got my leather jacket, my sunglasses.
Break out the spare lab coat for this.
Yeah.
I got my my matchstick in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm not wearing armor. Armor looks pedestrian.
So you guys exit your ship. There's a small crowd of onlookers and reporters suddenly track you down. You see cameras in your face. There's like flashes. People are asking for autographs. They want to ask you questions. They want to know what's going on. What do you guys do?
I waved to the crowd. Hey!
Oh, of course.
They're like, yeah.
Do we recognize anyone?
Oh no, definitely not. And you hear questions like, Mo, are you scared of the dark? Rusty, were you scared of dying? Tuttle, what do you think of Cheddar Mark III? Hiroji, are you planning on taking combat lessons or operative lessons?
Yeah.
I like
Mo
that.
wants to, yeah, Mo is listening. He wants to know too.
I make a diplomacy check. I want them all to like me.
Ooh. You know
You
what?
give a speech.
Mo is also going to do that. Oh my goodness.
You bastard.
He rolls a 20, which I'm sure I have minuses on my diplomacy. In fact, I know I have minuses on my diplomacy. I
But you
have
beat my
a... Oh, actually, no.
diplomacy.
It's unmodified.
Rusty rolls a 16.
I have an 11
Oh, God,
charisma.
you beat my diplomacy roll.
Okay, you guys are smoozing with the media.
I'll sign some autographs.
They're actually taking photos with you. They're giving you vouchers for some free drinks at some of the local bars.
Oh, yeah. Those are
Yeah,
accepted.
we like that.
Yeah.
And suddenly word gets out, and a rush of groupies come to swarm you. It looks
Oh,
like.
that's good.
Oh, and by the way, Torsa and Clara, they're eating it up too. They're also part of this gang, if you don't forget. And they're just like,
Oh, that's right.
oh, yeah, Torsa loves it. He's just like, he's talking to everyone, and he looks like he's like juggling and like doing weird acts. And Clara is being all business-like, but you can see a secret smile going on in the corner from mouth, and she's liking it.
There goes our henchman.
Oh,
And
by the
I
way,
think we're gonna
so
lose Clara.
here comes the groupies, and looks like groupies.
Remember the Beatles when they got chased around? We'll do one of those.
Wait for it.
We got. Let's see. It looks like Tuttle gets swarmed by goblins.
Oh, yeah,
That's about right. That's about right.
Oh,
yeah.
lovely. Because two of them weren't
And
enough.
Yosoki and goblins are swarming Tuttle and Cheddar. Everyone wants a picture with Cheddar. By the way, everyone's getting pictures with Cheddar. Rusty has a lot of undead. They're just all swarming over Rusty.
Yeah. Ooh,
and
stinky.
humans.
Lots of undead.
Lots of undead.
You can,
Wait, I made myself up to look purely human.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know that's like putting a silk hat on a pig.
Yeah, it's like a.
18 charisma human. Let's. Okay,
Yeah.
hold
Oh no,
on.
these
If I
are
need
pretty
to,
undead. These are the nice looking.
Yeah. That's
Dude, you're like
fine.
Terminator at the end of the film. That's what you are right now.
Yeah, I want Mary Sue, not Elvira. All right, they're both attractive,
You
but
get some humans in there too. I'm just giving you like the
Dun, dun, dun,
majority. Mo gets sort of the outcast Vesks. You would call them, like losers, geeks. Your people
Wait.
that really
Wait.
haven't found a good place in society, and don't really know what to do with their lives, and they all seem to be looking up to
run
you.
of the mill vest. All that.
cough, beta vesk, cough.
Hiroji, you get the children of all ages. They all love you.
Oh, good.
They all look up to you and can understand your plight because they too have lots of problems, doing simple things.
Yeah.
Great.
Someone at least
They
can
fall
relate to
over.
Hiroji. Yeah.
They trip all the time. They don't have good balance. Yeah.
Well, Mo's going to sign all the autographs and accept all the free drinks. However, we need to get paid. Getting paid.
Were there
What?
credits on the broadcast?
What do you mean credits?
Yeah.
Produced
Yes.
by, directed by.
Oh yeah,
Oh, those
Production
kind of
company.
credits, yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
Fremulon at the end.
Yep.
Who's the producer of our show?
The producer?
Please don't.
You know the
remind-
producer.
Please don't.
Everyone
remind
knows
me.
the producer.
Oh, God.
It's Zoe.
So what?
Make it
That's his
Zoe.
name, Zoe. Do you want to see what he looks like?
Yes.
Oh, that's not a an NPC we've met before.
Oh,
That's
nice.
Zoe.
That's
No.
funny.
Oh, it's one of Rusty's guys. Yeah.
Oh, I like him. Yeah. Oh, God.
Zoe has a tremendous media empire. He has been on air for almost 1 million continuous hours, which is something impressive since the beginning of the
Station.
time of recorded time. It's only been about 2 million hours. So he's been on almost half of all time since you guys woke up.
Well, he's probably got multi-channels, though, so...
Well, he's
Yeah.
also on dead.
Yeah.
Zoe is one of the biggest and most popular broadcasters. Sorry, he's literally the biggest and most popular broadcaster in the core systems.
Yeah.
He has, that's right. Since the gap, there's been about 2.7 million hours, and he has over 1 million hours confirmed camera time.
Wow.
He,
Okay, Steve, there's no way I can be polite about this. I'm going to have to be blunt. Now, did you actually pull this out of the Dead Sun campaign, or did you actually figure out a way to put Vic Fontaine in our goddamn story?
this is actually from the game.
That's a good author. That's actually a very good... that's pretty cool.
It's Zoe with an
Actually.
exclamation point. It's swear to God, and in fact, the very next Starfinder Society mission, 1.9, you actually go on a game show for Zoe. This is real.
Wow. That is
A
awesome.
reality show. That's the
we-
adventure. by the way.
Well, we're not going to probably talk to...
And John Compton's writing it.
Well, we're not going to probably talk to Zoe. We'll probably talk to someone in his production company about this. I assume the production company is on this station?
Zoe, he's everywhere. He's actually Eoxian, so he's probably on Eox. But you have no idea. That's like trying to see when to talk to Ted Turner, but it's his company, so...
But I
Okay,
can
but-
look up the local office of
Yeah,
TNT.
yeah,
I
like
can look
with
up the
our
local office
communicator,
of Turner
our
Broadcast.
gizmo.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Zobius, or whatever, his network is, they have offices here on Absalon Station.
Oh yeah. They have offices everywhere. He's a gigantic Mongol. He's
Now this camera's still following us, right?
Yeah, the camera. The camera was Nor's camera.
Uh-huh.
Well,
we should go see our patron now.
yeah, we should get paid first because that's our job is to
Well,
get paid.
I want to find out what happened to the ship that had our stuff on it too.
Well, I think the same person is going to have the same. It's
Right.
going to be the same guy's going to have all the answers. There's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Let's go see Nor. That's fine.
So it turns out Nor's like the casting director. Okay.
Is there any
Oh,
way I can pick
man.
up some cool shades on the way to Nor
Yeah,
to wear
course.
and look good?
yeah.
Okay.
I have shades on now currently.
I know,
Yeah,
and I
it's-
need some.
You're jealous of that look.
I got the hat. I got the fedora. So
I think I
Completely separately, I kind of enjoy the fact that finger guns have made their way into this alternate universe.
yeah. I feel better about the future already.
put on a little show for the kids. I pull out my grenades and start juggling them.
I know. I know how you think that I put this in. It's in the campaign.
Tuttle's just
Hilarious.
uncomfortable with all this unwanted attention and people
Yeah.
touching Getter. It's just
Yeah.
not his thing.
Yeah, Zoe he's really funny. All right, so you guys get some cool shades, you clean yourself up, you wade through the crowd, you give some preliminary interviews. Everyone seems to love Mo and Rusty.
How can they not?
Tuttle just gets 1 million pictures, and Hiroji is just playing with the kids.
Yeah.
You guys all go to meet with Gevalarsk Nor, once again, you show up at the scary, impressive headquarters, and you are actually allowed to go right in because he appears to have been expecting you. And he says, everyone, come in, come in. Torsa and Clara, if you can please wait outside while I speak to the Fabulous Five.
I think Mo's going to take his traditional seat.
Fabulous Five.
I love how Cheddar's now been upgraded to a full party member out of all.
I caught that.
Most importantly, are there refreshments available for us?
Oh, yes. Please make yourselves at home.
The Fantastic Four, or the four of them, Herbie was only on the cartoon on the side. He's not a member.
Yeah.
Yes, but everyone loves Cheddar. It sort of became who's going to be the fifth wheel. So, you know.
Cheddar is a meme.
Cheddar might just muscle one of us out of the group.
If it was the Fabulous Four, one of you would have been left out, and it definitely would not have been Cheddar.
It's Cheddar's world. We're all just living in it.
We're all playing for fourth
Cheddar
place.
and His Amazing Friends. Is that the name of the show?
I much prefer
Possibly. We actually would just be the Cheddar Friends
Well,
instead of the Super Friends.
Mo rolled his 20 for diplomacy, so he doesn't have to worry about being muscled out.
You know, it's like the Beatles. Who's the fifth Beatle?
Billy Shears.
Nice.
Okay, so Nor, you have some splaining to do, I believe. What was that deal with the ship returning early?
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to scare you with that, but I saw you manage to, get my cargo, and I knew you would find a way home. Either I would send something to pick you up, or you would find method to come home on your own, which you did. Well done. Well done. I have all your supplies, and as you call them, dog nuggets, all awaiting in your quarters. I had them all delivered, and they're waiting for you. Nothing funny was going on. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to get a heads up on that, because it was rather troubling to see our ship that we needed to get back home fly off.
Oh, but it made for good ratings.
Yeah, and about that.
Yes. Well, how much of this arbitration business was actually real, or was it all a setup for this show that you put us on?
Oh, no. It was completely real. But when word got out about the recordings, we were watching them in the office, and Zoe was walking by, and he thought, hey, let's do something with that. And we threw it up on the infosphere, and one thing led to another, and now you're famous. What's so bad about that?
Oh, God, we're a viral video.
Did you ask our permission first?
Yes, I have your permission here. Didn't you notice the papers you signed when you joined Starfinder Society?
Who read the papers? I assumed Rusty was going to read the papers. That's not my department. Not my department at all. Rusty, what's going on with the papers?
Exactly. I made my mark on the papers. I just put an X.
Yes. According to the papers, your likeness and use of your face and everything associated with it is property of society when you're on society business, including any profits you might have earned. I hear the society's been quite happy with you, as your ratings have gone through the roof, and you've been able to generate tremendous amounts of income for the society.
OOC, I'm fairly certain I didn't sign my own name on the Starfinder Society.
Oh, it's not by name. It's by DNA and retina scan.
Oh, God damn it. Wait, didn't I also give someone else's DNA?
Oh, yes, that old trick. It didn't work.
Oh, good Lord.
Actually, that's true with Rusty has check Rusty's DNA. It may have changed.
It's probably different.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point as well. If you tested my DNA now, it would probably not match what you have on file.
Oh, it actually will match. For a while, at least. That is until the transformation is complete.
Is there any way of reversing that? Rusty's
let's not worry about that right now.
All right,
I think what's most important is, of course, let's talk about profitability.
Yes, yes. And he pulls out some cred sticks. You did an excellent job. You provided endless entertainment. You managed to get my cargo. You all survived, sort of. And you even made some friends and got a new ship. What more would one want? Here you go. 600 credits each for completing your task, and another 500 credits each for bringing back my cargo. Thank you very much.
I'm curious, what is that cargo? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, nothing you need to worry about.
We knew that.
Oh, so now getting back to this whole celebrity business, are we entitled to any kind of profits sharing from the proceeds of the program?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
It all goes to the Starfinder Society. Again, they are extremely happy with you, as they've been having many, many hard times ever since, the incident. I'm sure those funds were well needed, as well as the much needed publicity to help rebuild the society. I'm sure they'll be very happy with you.
What happens to the what is it? Meteor? No, it wasn't a meteor. It's a asteroid.
The drift rock?
Drift rock, yeah.
Oh, the drift rock. So, although it has no real effect, I'm curious, who did you felt had the upper hand in the negotiations? Who should I side with? Astral Extractions or the Hardscrabble Collective?
Oh, Astral.
I don't believe are of one mind on that.
Yeah, I think we might be even split. I was with Astral Extractions because they had a much better concierge table.
Yeah, they gave him donuts. Therefore, yeah.
There's donuts, Danishes, freshly squeezed orange juice. They had coffee. They had the whole spread.
Okay,
that's
getting
okay.
back to smart people.
Each of you, tell me, what did you think?
I thought that the Hardscrabble Collective, I respected the fact that they met us with their own leadership. They treated us, with respect to our abilities and to the danger we were going through. We weren't treated as underlings. We weren't treated by underlings. I was very pleased with the fact that we met them on their own home ground and not in some boring little office.
I feel like two things stood out to me. First is I read the contract, and the contract specified that Astral Extractions was only hiring them to map systems. They weren't hiring them for any sort of salvage they brought back. So that would sort of indicate that the drift rock was their property that they happened to find. The other thing is just more, on a big picture level, they paid for that rock with the lives of their crew. So I think their families are entitled to whatever profits come of it.
Very good point.
That's the Hardscrabble, right?
The Hardscrabble, yes.
We have to consider, though, that, the Astral Extractions are a powerful multi-conglomerate company.
I know.
That
he asked my opinion, so that's my opinion.
I mean, I'm just worried that if we make enemies of them and being so public now.
You're the deciding vote, though.
And you're voting with cowardice and fear?
I've always wanted to stick up for the underdog. I say we go with the Hardscrabble.
And just to put things on an
3-1.
even keel, Mo, I promise I'm going to get you donuts tomorrow. Good ones.
I will hold you to that.
By good ones, you mean
If you vote for the Hardscrabble
You mean
now,
Krispy
that is.
Kreme, right? Not Dunkin'.
If you vote for the Hardscrabble Collective now, I'd love it to
Oh,
be
no,
unanimous.
I don't need to. I'm losing 3-1, so it's.
I know. It's nice to be unanimous, though.
It's
Cheddar?
nice.
Consolation donuts.
What's Cheddar say?
No. Yeah,
Yes, what does
is
Cheddar say?
going to vote?
Cheddar is actually the tiebreaker.
No,
Cheddar is not programmed with voting protocols. Cheddar has no analysis of contractual law.
Rusty, are you voting for?
Hardscrabble.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
Three-
I don't
that's
trust
3 to
these
1.
big
3 to 1.
assholes.
Yes,
Yeah, 3 to 1,
I know, John. Yeah, Hardscrabble won.
Nor looks at you and says, interesting points all. Well, I will be putting in my final verdict later today. I'm sure you'll hear about it on the news. I do appreciate all the work you've done for us, and I apologize if you found the broadcast a little surprising. However, I feel you will get much benefit from it, and in the long run, it will be a good thing for you and the society. And with that, I must leave you, as I have lots of work to do. Please see yourselves out. I'm sure we will be in touch sometime in the near future. Oh, and Rusty, one other thing.
Yes.
I normally would have charged you for all those extra healing packs I gave you. But since, well, you know, I've decided you're going to pay enough of a price. We'll keep in touch as I want to see your progress, if you know what I mean.
Yes, let's talk about that at another time. That's just fine.
Oh, don't worry. It's all good. People love Yoxians.
There you go.
Does that mean you're immortal now?
Oh, yes. Yes, it does.
Is there a stench?
No. I put some cologne on when we were in the ship.
Oh, that's the nice thing about being undead. Our sense of smell is really not that good anymore.
But mine is, so...
Yeah, even so. That's fine.
Downwind.
Oh, anyhow, I'll see you out. And Mr. Mo, here. And he pulls out, for all of you, a gift basket with the finest fruits and chocolates and delicacies.
Nice.
And he's like, I had some special Vesk ones brought in just for you, Mo.
He does a full bow of deference and accepts the gift. And he's going to take the things that look tasty before he gives them to the rest of the guys.
Oh, no, you each get your own gift basket.
Oh, we each get our own.
Nice.
Okay.
And they actually each are
Is he
built. Yeah, he hands them out, and you can tell that they have a variety of things in there, but there's actually delicacies for each of your races and your home.
Oh, okay.
Great. That's
okay.
wonderful.
Ah, very good. We got to. Oh, hey, this is
Well-
better. Who needs
And
profits
for
from
you,
this?
Cheddar, and he gives them some high-grade motor oil.
Synthetic water.
Cheddar beeps and boops like R2D2.
It's more like the bath that C-3PO had.
I think we should head back to our quarters before they get broken into.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, since you
Sure.
mentioned about that you put things in our quarters. We understand there was a quarantine lockdown on them for some reason.
Oh, yes. We saw that. Funny thing how you managed to find one of those rare
Loot box. I still have mine.
boxes. Those loot boxes are extremely rare and quite random. It appears you got one of the more interesting items. That allows you to do a town portal back to civilization. It only lasts for a day and only works for you. And sorry about setting off those alarms. I took care of it once I saw what happened as I was watching your feed. You won't have to worry about that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, let's head back to our lodging.
Let's get back there.
And by the way, John, or Mo, I respect, the respect you showed him. I understand it's part of the Vesk warrior code that you only bow to an enemy who defeats you or someone who gives you croissants.
Yeah, it's a big fruit. It's a food basket. Are you kidding me?
We who are about to eat salute you.
Yes.
You actually get back to your hotel, and as you get into the hotel, Torsa and Clara, they come with you. Torsa says to you, he says, well, I've had so much fun with you guys, but, I'm getting so many offers to join so many new triumvirates that I really have to take them up on it. So I will always be part of your clan with Cheddar and Tuttle and the rest of you. And don't forget about using them grenades, Hiroji. And you big green guy, you like Goblin, only not. And Rusty, you really need a bath. Other than that, I wish you all good luck in your future. May the junk lasers never go bad for you.
Yes. Good luck to you as well, friend.
Goodbye, Torsa.
If you have any more crazy ideas about Cheddar 4.0, so feel free to send them along.
Yeah.
Feel free to email me.
Torsa's probably rich now because he didn't actually sign away his, rights to the.
That's a good point. Oh, man, wait a minute. Did the person who tried to kill us twice, Clara, just profit by the whole experience?
Oh,
Clara, on the
I'm
other
sure
hand,
she did.
she's like, I have to say, fellas, this didn't start off so great, but it sure ended nice.
Oh, God damn it.
Nice for you.
Professional
that's for sure.
courtesy. I'm getting so many offers now, I don't even know what to do with them all. I'm going to retire very, very wealthy.
Wow.
Wow, must be nice, Claire. It's a good thing I didn't kill you.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was happy ending. We're in our
Yeah,
court.
she
Are
looks
we?
at you one last time and she says, and she looks at Hiroji and says, Hiroji, for always sticking up for me, here's a little present. And she pulls an Aeon Stone out of her head and flicks it towards you, and you catch it. And she's like, that's for you, fellow operative. You're okay. And the rest of you guys, sorry about trying to kill you, but you guys are okay too. I'll see you around.
You're the best. Thank you.
Mo waves happily. Goodbye.
Outstanding. All right, an Ion Stone.
Wow. That goes into Kitty.
Oh, yeah. No
Oh,
question about that.
that.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Oh,
thrown
yeah.
to me.
No. Group loot. That is so group loot.
No, I actually, I don't think we could.
It's probably an operative thing. What is that exactly?
Something.
If it were
Mo
given to
could
somebody
use.
else, would you expect it to be group loot?
No, it would be whoever was the possessor of the item.
That's what you're saying. If somebody gives me something, you don't expect to cut.
If it's credits, I expect to got.
Oh, so you're saying there's a line here.
Oh, there is. Well, what is this thing exactly? First, what does it do? Is it
You know
magic?
what this is? It's a
It floats-
clear spindle ion stone. Those are pretty cool. They allow you not having to eat or drink. They basically give you subsistence, which is now you know how she was able to live on the drift rock for like 2 weeks before you
Wow.
found her. She didn't need to breathe because she's an android.
Right.
She didn't need to eat because she had the ion stone.
Nice. So it's sustenance.
It does explain a few things.
Yeah, I forgot what that was called in Pathfinder, but it basically just feeds you automatically.
They had a ring that did that. It was a ring.
Yeah. Gosh, I considered getting it too because it's just a cool thing to have.
I'm guessing undead don't eat.
Yeah, it's a clear spindle ion stone. They're very cheap. They're only $245. You could buy one. It basically sustains you by negating the need for food or water. That's it. You just basically never need to eat.
It's a ring of sustenance, basically.
Yeah,
ring of
exactly.
sustenance,
That's
yep.
all it is. They're cheap. You can buy one.
Yeah, that it suits him.
Anyhow, you go back to your quarters. Sure enough, it is filled with all the stuff from the ship. So you
Doggy
see
nuggets!
all your doggy nuggets. Well, anything else you had on the ship, all of your gear, if you had any gear. So I'll go through all that with you. And don't forget, you actually, even on your ship, your other ship, the Sunrise Maiden, you had trade goods while you were spending time. I'm going to say you went through them, and you had probably maybe 2,000 credits worth of trade goods that are old, but still probably worth something. And you also had those unusual art objects that you took from the cave that are worth a couple thousand as well. So,
Oh yeah, that's good.
So if we were to add it all up and liquidate all of it, what do you know what that total number would be?
yeah, give me a sec. I'm going to do the math for you
Okay.
guys. So,
$5.
Is that something you want to do
Yeah.
now,
yeah,
or
I mean, you guys, this is
Okay.
I want to buy.
sounds good? I already got my list, so it'll be quick for me.
you guys are leveled up. You're back to civilization. You got a ton of money.
Yeah. Well, I wrote down what I want, so it's fine. Cool.
I have a kind of sort of prioritized list, and I'll just kind of see how much money we have and kind of start going down it.
Yeah, how much can you spend on cheddar? I assume that's your chief expenditure.
Actually, I don't think I can. I think Cheddar is mostly just mods and maybe upgrade his weapons. But I'm
really?
this time
Nothing
around.
costs money, and you can upgrade him at will. You can just basically it's 24 hours. You can just change him. The only thing that costs money is weapons.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of money.
Not really.
Yeah, well, we'll find out how much the ship repairs are going to be. Like I said, that's a lot. Rusty or Bob, what did you decide? What do you think you're going to be buying?
Very simple. I have to talk to some medical professionals, and then I'm buying grenades. That's it. I'm done.
Oh, really? You're really going to try to get rid of that undead?
No reason to go into details. I'm just going to talk to some medical professionals. That's fine.
Hilarious. Well, that could cost you a lot. But ironically, it probably won't.
Well, we'll see.
Now I'm going to get armor, and I'm going to get a pike. That's going to be my melee weapon of choice. I'm going to put down the hammer and get a pike. Because that Dashko, the Vesk weapon that does 1 to 12 physical, it's unwieldy, and the problem with that is that I can't cleave with it, and I can't make any attacks of opportunity with it, which kind of sucks. Yeah, because I took cleave. Yeah, I mean, and the pike, it has reach. And that is going to be a good thing. Yeah. And I can't do attacks of opportunity with that.
All right, let's go through a few things. So if you sell all the cocoon scraps, all your UPBs, get all the credits that you found, and sell the unusual art objects, the trade goods, and then your rewards for the package and exploring the Drift Rock, that is what you come back with. I just divided it. I mean, it was actually 16,970 credits, and then just divided it by 4. So, with that, there's a few things. Flame pistol. It's worth 47 if you sell it. I think Hiroji has it.
Worth what?
47. If you want to keep it or not.
47 credits? I guess we just keep it, right?
Yeah, I vote that we keep all the equipment,
Tactical
basically.
arc emitter? You want to keep that?
Yeah, keep it all. Just throw it on the ship.
Detonators?
Keep it.
The disruptive fusion seal. That was the thing that was 5th level. That was it worked on exactly one weapon in the whole game.
Yeah, that one we may sell. Unless, I don't know, we might as well keep it. How much does it sell for?
79.2 credits.
Yeah. Do you guys mind if we just keep
all
that?
Just keep it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
The selling doesn't really work.
Backup generators, flare gun.
Were those detonators, does that come with the explosives?
No, you attach a detonator. You could detonate any grenade. They're basically for grenades. You could turn a grenade into a bomb. That's how it works.
Oh, interesting. How many did we have of that?
You have 2 of them. And Hiroji has 1. Tal has 1. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they're cool. They could basically make a grenade and turn them into a bomb that goes off in certain ways. You could do it based on time, press a button. I think you could even do like noise or something. It's kind of cool. You make a trap out of it.
Does it get destroyed in it, or is it?
I don't know. Actually, I think it does. I think it's a one-time use thing.
I thought it was like a remote control.
It is, but I still think it's one-time use because it's like part of it you have to destroy to use it. So they're cheap.
Yeah, if it hooks up to
they're
a grenade,
150 each. I mean, they're not that expensive. You have the Goblin Grenades. You have one lesser loot box of wonder, static art pistol, and the repairs on the ship. Since you guys are celebrities. And since you've done such a good job that the Starfinder Society said they're going to foot the bill and have your ship repaired.
Wow. That's awesome. How much was the bill?
A couple thousand.
Oh, okay.
And the average profits from a hit series on Absalon Station, how much is that per episode?
A lot.
Who
knows?
Who knows? No, it's not as much. You know what? You guys are nothing. You guys are doing like scale. So
yeah.
It's a YouTube channel.
You know how much much people make on reality shows?
Right.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage.
Well, we got to turn it into something like Kim Kardashian. Use our brains.
Well, the winner of Survivor gets $1 million. The rest of them get dick.
Yeah. I'd like to put a motion on the floor to purchase 1,000 healing serums. Actually, no, 1,000 credits of healing serums, which is 20 heals, just for the party, so that we don't argue. I did a lot of research into healing serums, there's no equivalent of a wand of healing of Cure Light Wounds.
Nope.
The game just doesn't have that. And unfortunately, these healing serums, they are all light in bulk. So when we get 10 healing serums,
Counts as one.
it counts as a bulk. And so if we spend each 250 in that, we have 2 bulk worth of healing that I can carry, but it depends on whether or not you guys want to do that.
Well, the only thing I'd wonder is, do we want to consider stepping up to the Mark II healing serums?
No, because I've actually looked into that as well. They're far, far less efficient.
Bang for the buck.
Yeah, way cheap. You heal more. Jason's got to.
They're 3d8.
In
So
fact,
it's good to have them in combat for
Yeah.
out-of-combat healing. It's better to drink 3 of the Mark Is
Okay.
for
Right.
cost.
No, you're right. That makes sense.
but actually, Jason, you have a point that I didn't even think about. If we each get one of those, that might be good for on-the-spot, emergencies.
Yeah, I think you do want to have a couple of them just in case.
Yeah. Well, that's. But I basically can carry them.
Or get real armor.
Did you list our?
No, I'll get real armor. I'm getting a huge upgrade to my armor.
Did you list our money somewhere?
Yeah, it's in Discord.
It's where you insisted information goes.
Hiroji has 4,600
Why do I always have less?
because you contributed the least out of all of us.
Yes, that's right.
You actually bought a whole bunch of things. You bought serums. You bought drinks.
That's
you
true.
bought
I
smoke
do.
grenades, 2 frag grenades, 4 Mark 1 healing serums, 2 binders, disguise kit, a hacking kit, navigator tools.
Yep.
Geiger counter, 50 foot of line, titanium alloy, and other Geiger counters. You bought a lot of stuff. So
I did. I remember. All those kits and everything. Yep.
So yeah, you have about 700, 600, 800 less than everyone else because you got stuff. So anyhow, yeah, there you guys go. Let me know what you expect to do and buy.
I know what I want already. 2,970 credits. I'll take the Lashunta Ringwinner 2.
What? Is that armor?
It's armor, yeah. That's basically the armor. I have 1 right now. It's an upgrade.
Rusty's carrying a pretty fancy pistol these days.
Oh, my pistol? Yeah, it's good.
Pretty fancy.
It has the same bulk as what I'm wearing now. Doesn't change my movement, but it hugely upgrades my armor.
I should take a look at some armor, maybe.
Bulk 2, 1 upgrade slot. It's basically exactly the same except, whoa! An 8-10 armor bonus, level 5.
A little bit better. A little bit better.
More than a little.
It's double. It's doubles my armor bonus.
Huge upgrade. All right, what else?
Yeah, and the weapon I'm going to use is the Pike Tactical. I'm not using the Doshkog because it doesn't let me do attacks of opportunity, and I can't cleave with it. So the Pike Tactical, for 475 credits, gives me reach, and I do 1 to 8 damage with it. And it's a piercing weapon.
Yep.
Crazy.
And I assume I still have my artillery laser, azimuth artillery laser.
Yeah, you still have all your others.
Yeah, I still have that. And that's basically what I'm going to carry. The healing serums. And for the upgrade, I'm going to have the infravision upgrade for 200 credits. I'll be able to see 60 feet with infravision.
Wait, what am I wearing right now in terms of armor? Something crappy, right? Aztec suit 1?
Yeah, you had something with a upgrade slot in it. And that's what I'm getting. I'm not getting it. Oh, well, also the healing serums.
So when you sell stuff, you get nothing for it, right? Pretty much?
Pretty much.
10%.
Ugh.
All right, so you have infrared sensors, the Pike Tactical, and your Lashunta Ringwear 2. What else? Anything else?
That's it. Oh, well, the healing serums. Okay, so do you guys object to the party spending that money on healing serums?
So
I mean, I am going to use the bulk of them, but rather than argue who's...
So you're saying we all spend for group healing serums?
Yes. Like, I'll carry them, but anybody can use them.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just tell me what you're buying. How many of them are you buying?
All right, so I give Mo 250
Okay.
credits.
So, all right. So everyone gives me 250 credits.
Fine.
Then I'm going to buy
All right.
20 of them. And then I'm going to buy the Mark II healing
What's the highest level items we can buy?
5.
5.
So 2 above.
So you can buy 20 Mark 1s. How many Mark 2s?
1.
Just one? Okay.
Just
Any
one.
spell amps or spell gems?
Nope. Spells are actually more expensive healing. I don't know why they don't. Yeah, so that's fine. That's it. Mo is done.
I need a new gun. Rusty, can we talk?
About what? I don't understand what you want.
I want that gun you have over there that you're not very good at.
You mean my gun?
Dude, guns are cheap.
Well, how much are you
They're
offering
so
me
cheap.
for it? How much are you offering me for this gun? I can give it to you, 95% of its regular cost.
9. I'll give you 1,000 credits.
Sold.
No, I will not give you 1,000 credits.
Yeah, I know.
How much? What do you have? You have an arc pistol or something, right?
I think so. Let me look at my sheet.
I need a better gun because my gun's
Yes, I have a static arc pistol. It's just a level 2. It's not that impressive.
Yeah,
It
you need
does-
one that actually hits.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I'm trying to help you guys. There is that thing that you can buy. How much is it? I forget, but that will give you a +2 to one of your stats. It's pretty cheap.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did look at that once. What is that again?
So how much is an augment, by the way?
They're all over the place.
Steve, did you say that was an augment?
No, it's not an augment. I mean, augments there's tons of cybernetics.
Yeah, because I looked at the augments. I didn't think anything was
Well, I wanted to get dark vision augment. How much does that cost?
200.
That's it?
Well, no. I got it's 1750 for the augmentation, 200 for the armor upgrade.
Yeah, but the armor upgrade uses a slot, so but that's
Yeah.
true, actually.
It's 200 though. like the
Dark
thing that
vision
you,
capacitors will replace your eyes to allow you to see in total darkness, giving you dark vision with a range of 60 feet.
yeah.
They are level 3 standard for 1,750 credits.
Yeah.
You can basically give yourself a +2, a +4, and a +6. That's it. You can't take more than one of those.
Yeah. Oh man.
Personal upgrades. Mark 1 personal upgrade, level 3, gives you a +2 to anything you want, 1,400 credits.
Oh wow. Yeah, okay, it's on page 212. And we can get one per character or one per stat.
One per stat. So, in other words, you can...
Oh man, that's crazy. Wow.
But you
Yeah.
can get up to 3 personal upgrades.
Right, but they have to be different. You can get a Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, but they have to go to different slots.
Yeah, I get it.
You can only do the Mark 1 because the Mark 2 is
Yeah.
level 7, so you can't do that one anyhow.
So if I get a Mark 1 for strength, does that mean that later on I can't get a Mark 2
No,
for
you
strength?
can upgrade it to a Mark
Okay.
2.
Okay.
And actually, you can pay the difference between the Mark 1 and the Mark 2 to upgrade it. So if you get the 1400, it actually has that as an example. You can just pay the difference, which is 65 minus 14. Now it's a Mark 4. And then you can get a Mark 1 for some other stat. The Mark 3 is 75,000 credits. So it goes from 1400 to 6,500 to 75,000.
How much gold does Mo have after he spent on his pike and armor?
Making me work. Hold on.
Actually, boy, it's going to be close, actually. I don't think I can afford it.
805. Now,
Oh, really?
Yeah, 805
Oh.
credits. Now, if you don't buy the healing Mark 2 serum, you still don't have enough. You have 1230. Yeah, you won't have enough.
That's fine. That's fine.
If you get rid of the infrared sensors,
Those are only 200.
well, then you would have 1430.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you do it to your main stat, you also get another resolve point.
Oh, wow. Will you be mad if I do that?
No, I haven't done anything yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me do that then. I had no idea that item even existed.
That's why I brought it up.
I looked for it. I didn't know how to search for it.
So you're going to be doing that on your charisma, right, Mo?
He doesn't need to do that. He rolls 20 for his diplomacy check, so I think I'll just throw it away on my strength stat. Yeah, I need to bring my strength up. That actually gives me another carrying capacity, believe it or not. That doesn't suck.
Don't forget your dex. You need armor class.
My dex is pretty good. My dex...
I know, but every 2 is 1 point of armor class. So,
What kind of force field do I have? So I have a force field, right? Crappy one, I think.
Yeah, you have the brown one, which is like 1 point.
Eesh. Yeah, it takes up 2 slots.
Well, my dex actually helps out with the ship, too. But I don't get a resolve point pumping up my dex.
yeah, that's fair.
That's important to me. Yeah, that's a good point, because I do need a dex to help me in space combat.
We can get
Are
a
you
jet-
changing
get a
yours at
jet
all,
pack.
Rob? Rob?
I emailed you my purchases.
Oh, I know, but are you changing it?
No.
You can change it. Is that what that's your final? Is that your final answer?
The few basics. Oh, and what I IM'd you about. Just give me any
Yes.
dollar amount for that. That's
okay.
fine.
Force field purple. Ooh, I want that, but I can't.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's expensive.
How many slots is that?
2.
Oh, that's it? Shit. Yeah, but what is that, level 19 or something ridiculous?
It's level 6,
Oh.
but it's 4,500 credits, and stay with the brown. I like your infrared sensor idea though.
Yeah, I know, dude. I don't know if that brown's going to do you much.
Well,
I have one. It's not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it's only 200 credits for infravision. I mean, it's basically free.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a quick release sheath I could attach, but I think sensors, for me,
Yeah.
I need to be able to see in the dark totally.
Yeah, it's been
You can't
so
see in the dark?
important.
oh,
Nope.
that's
Yeah.
weird.
I mean, for a thiefy rogue kind of character, you always have to. It's a requirement as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Well, as far as equipment, I mean, I did glance through this, though not extensively. As far as I can understand it, starting around 5th or 6th level, the way the money scales is where we can actually start getting very creative with the equipment. At this point, though, it's kind of still basic necessities. So,
I don't know. I kind of like my melee.
Scale's really weird. It scales like really high, but everything gets super expensive. It's like a very
I kind of like it that
kind of
I
like
don't
World of
need to
Warcraft
buy.
scaling. To be honest.
well, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You need to go up several levels before you can get the things that make you worth several levels.
I don't know. Yeah, I got a huge armor upgrade.
I'm going to get a huge armor upgrade also.
I understand. I got a few nice things. I'm fine.
And this weapon having reach is going to be so good. Oh my goodness. Especially
That is
for
a big deal
melee.
for you.
I can
Because you don't want to be anywhere near those things that want to hurt you. We know that.
Yes, and when they have to take a 5-foot step to get through to get to me, that's good. That's a good thing. Now watch the next adventure be all range weapons.
Mhm.
Oh, sure. Or all flying creatures, or they all tunnel up from underground.
Yeah.
And just
I
come
like
up
the
your
mix
feet.
that we've had
Sure.
so far, though. I do like. It's been not all lasers, which was I was worried about. They've done a really good job with mixing it. Even it's actually less range than even what I thought.
Speaking of range, I need a new pistol. Does someone want to lend me money?
No.
I believe I have 39 credits left over.
Let me rephrase.
I don't think I even have that.
Does Rusty want to give me money?
I don't even think I have that much to spare.
Rusty,
I mean,
you need to buy bullets, by the way.
we need to buy what?
Bullets.
Mullet is what I'm hearing. The hairstyle from the 80s.
Bullets for your
Bullets.
gun. Bullets for your gun.
Bullets
Cartridges.
and then a mullet.
For my one gun, yes, I do. Very good point.
You're totally out of ammo. Most of you
Yes.
guys don't have that problem. However, some of the special weapons you guys have,
Wait,
like the
no.
flamethrowers and stuff, those all use special ammo.
Well, one of the guns I gave to Chris. He's got that. But the other one, that's right.
Which one?
Just
One of
the
my
collective view.
actual impact ones. The bullets, the physical bullets.
Oh, yeah. Do you want that back?
No, that's all yours.
Oh, God, I wish you guys could use long arms.
Forget long arms.
I could give you so many weapons. I could give you so many weapons if you had long arm proficiency.
What's Jason doing? He's so quiet.
No, I've got a list going here. I think I got it pretty much straightened out.
I want things, but I don't have enough money.
By the way, thanks for telling us about that personal upgrade thing.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Oh.
I was going to go with the S-Tech suit 2
Yes.
because that's like 4 extra armor class based on
Wow. What
and an extra upgrade slot.
What level is that?
Like level 4, level 5. I forget.
Nice.
You actually can sell your old armor, don't forget, and get some money for it too, by the way.
Yeah, I hadn't factored that in yet, but okay.
No, I meant for John.
Yeah. I guess I should. Yeah. If that doesn't complicate things, I might as well do that.
I was going to get 1 healing serum Mark II, just as an emergency.
How much do those cost?
Like 450 or something. They're pretty expensive, but
yeah, they ain't cheap.
and I was going to get 4 Mark I's just to have some on my person, even though we have a group cache. And I was going to get 4 frag grenades and the personal upgrade, which I was probably going to use on Dex.
Well, make sure you ask me for your healing before you use yours.
I know, but I just want to have a couple on me just in case we get separated.
Sure. Yeah.
Mo literally has going across his chest.
Bandolier?
Bandoliers.
Of little healings. Yeah, 10 on each side. That would be an awesome character sketch.
You have. He's like, bandito.
20 of them, it does make sense that would be like 2 pounds, or 2 bulk worth of junk to carry around.
I will say the spell amps aren't bad to have because those are the things that give you spells. I mean, like cure, those are the things that will cure your wounds or cure your, like diseases and stuff. So, I'm in the potions.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason, I didn't even see that. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that was in the chat, in the group handouts channel, yeah.
How much is the S-Tech suit?
2,700. That's like the big ticket item.
How much are bullets, by the way?
40 credits for a clip of 30 bullets for a small arm.
And I really like how encumbrance is done in this system. Prevents me from carrying around the general store with me.
Yeah, and that's extremely well done, especially for you.
Well, yeah, because it's weird that I can carry any weapon, or I'm sorry, it's weird that I can use any weapon, but I can't carry. I can carry a melee weapon and a gun. That's basically it.
Well, you can be encumbered.
Yeah. There's
want to be.
If I were ranged,
I would get like power armor. Power armor gives you
power armor's going to change things. Yeah, it's going to be a while before I have to worry about that.
Yeah, power armor's nuts.
But for a melee fighter, I don't need a whole bunch of weapons anyway, so that's fine. And actually, the cool thing is, okay, here's a question I have to ask you: is do I have to drop my pike to punch something?
No, it's a one-handed. It's a two-handed weapon, so you need 2 hands free to use it, but you can hold it in one hand and just not attack with.
That's what I thought. Okay, because this is insane. my armor bonus went for energy. It went from 2 to 8, and for my kinetic, it went from 4 to 10. So I got a 6-point bump on each of my armor class.
Yeah, it's a big, like these levels, they're big. I mean, the armor, every 2 levels, it looks like is like a big bump.
Luckily, the monsters we're going to fight are at the same level. They've always been.
They actually go down in level and get easier.
Right.
There's just a chance that they might miss. I think instead of like maybe a 10% chance, it's now a
11%.
30. No, I think it's going to be like a 35% chance. I could take 1 out of 3. That would be good.
All right, are you ready to add stuff? Can I do it verbally? All right, so a thing that I'm noticing on my sheet that's not on my sheet that I actually do have is I do have a semi-automatic tactical pistol, which is Rusty's pistol.
Yeah, that's it's on your weapons, but I can add it. Hold on. You have the hardest sheet. Hold on.
I know, because I have a lot of shit on it.
All right, that's added.
Okay.
What else you want?
All right, I'm buying a Aztec suit Mark II.
You and Tuttle are twin.
Yeah, smart.
Make sure you get matching
Because we're smart.
armor, so you look like little twins.
You'd be like Zan and Jada, the Wonder Twins.
Yeah, I know. It's the Wonder Twins.
All right, so and my brown force field is going into one of the slots. And then the other two slots, actually it's going in 2 slots. And the other slots, I'm buying a infrared sensor.
Oh,
Does that make Cheddar Gleek, the monkey?
yes, it does. I'm afraid.
We can't have that then.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate side effect.
I have like all sorts of pistols and guns all over.
Okay, I got that
All
now.
right, so now I'm buying an arc pistol level 2, arc pistol static,
How much is that?
750.
It's not bad.
It's not a great weapon. It's just it's all I can afford.
Well, hey, it's not that.
I'd rather have armor.
How much was your armor?
Well, with the upgrade, it's 2,900.
Yeah, about what
It's
I expect.
I always like defense more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am buying 3 clips of ammunition for these regular pistols, semi-automatic. That costs 40 credits each, so that's 120 credits for 3 clips of 30 rounds each.
Doesn't sound like a lot.
It's not my primary weapon.
Oh,
it's
okay,
just if hey, that
No.
thing immune to fire, so I'm going to pull out a different gun.
What is it you're buying? What's it called? Is it small arms rounds?
Yes, small arms rounds, 3 of those.
Yes.
I am buying another battery.
I
for
have like
6.
10.
We have 1 million
Wait,
batteries.
do we have 1 million batteries?
Yeah, you don't need batteries.
Well, how many do I have on my sheet? Because I want more on my sheet then.
I think
I think I only have.
You actually have, well, I'll go through it all. You have like 4, but some of them are being used. So like 3 extra maybe, or 2 extra, something like that. I got to go through them.
we can recharge those, can't we? Though.
Yeah, you can recharge them. But
Yeah.
I have 4 on my sheet. I want a couple more though. If we have them lying around, I want to be carrying more because I'm going to be using.
I'll go through it, and I actually have that on another sheet, but I'll organize all that.
Mo has
All right,
20
send it to me.
batteries on his.
It's not 20. That's one battery. It's 20 charges. It's the way the program works. 20
okay.
equals 1. That's one.
All right,
battery.
so forget that. I'm not going to buy batteries then. But I will buy a petrol tank. 1 petrol tank. That's for the flame pistol.
Nice, nice.
So I have a laser pistol, an electric pistol, a flame pistol, an arc pistol, a tactical bullet pistol, and a needler pistol.
Dude, how can you carry all that shit? I mean, there's no way. Like, what is your? You're going to be able to carry like 2 of those pistols.
I don't know. I carry all sorts
Do you
of
have an
pistols.
arc pistol? Arc pistols are really cool.
I just had to buy one, Rusty.
Oh, that's great. Aren't they really cool? Yeah.
Wait,
I like
wait.
those.
Do you want a tactical arc emitter?
That's a long arm though.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
I can only use like pistols and daggers, and I can use a sniper rifle, which I almost bought one because they're only 750, but I don't have enough.
So you have the Aztec suit, infrared sensors, the arc pistol, rounds, petric tank. Anything else?
You can put the ion stone on my sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, another thing I am going to do is I'm going to take the needler pistol and I'm loading it with a Mark 1 healing serum from the community bank.
So you're taking one of John's.
Yes, because what that'll do is that'll allow me to heal someone from range if I have to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can shoot you. I can shoot you with
Chris is the healer. Chris is the healer.
You know what? If it comes down to that, you should probably,
load it with a big one.
yeah, because
Okay.
you'll never use that not in combat, and you might as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I will do that. And if someone gives me one, I don't have one. I don't have enough credits to buy.
God. See, I'm the one who's going to need it, and I might as well give my. Yeah, all right, I'm going to give it to you. Okay. But, I mean, are you going to be carrying that? Well, actually, you don't care about encumbrance. Yeah, all right, I'll give you mine.
I do care about encumbrance, but my things weigh very little. Like pistols are light.
Yeah, they're 1 each, but
No,
you
they're
can only
light.
carry how much? 6?
No, they're light. They're 0.1.
What? A pistol?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. In that case, yeah. I will give you my my Mark II healing.
Okay, and I load that into the needler, and that'll be like the emergency, and let everyone know that like it's over here on my body. Like if I'm the one who's down, like it can be used by anyone. I mean, the weird thing about it is you actually shoot them and they take damage.
What do you mean?
Like if you get hit with this pistol, you take 1d4. But
really,
that's what it's, that's what's
and then
designed.
the healing potion goes off,
and then the healing goes off. Yeah.
Geez.
So you kill them, then heal them. Okay.
It's I don't. That's what it's designed for. It's weird, but
it makes sense. It's kind of cool.
And how much money do I have left? Are you calculating? How much are those stat boost things cost?
1,400.
Oops, I don't have enough. I think I have 1,045 left.
Well, if you sell your armor, how much is your level 1 armor? Don't you have a couple armors, though?
I do. They're worth such crap, though.
Yeah. I mean, you only need 300 or 200 or 3 and change.
3 and change, yeah. I don't think it's going to make it, though, because they're like 10 or 40 or something.
Yeah.
I could buy a sniper rifle, though.
Because you're nearly as good as Clara.
Oh, shit, Chris.
What?
I didn't get that healing because I needed to get that upgrade.
All right, well, I'll load it with one of the smaller ones then.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I mean, it's the kind of thing that's so you shoot someone with that because they're going to die like imminently, like they're bleeding out and dying. And I can't
man, to take 1 to 4 damage to get 1 to 8.
That's true, actually.
That could actually just.
Well, but doesn't it stabilize you though? I think it stabilizes you though.
I think getting healed. Yeah.
All right, let me read the needler pistol and see what that does exactly. What the hell is that for exactly? I think you can put poison in there, but
poisons or healing serums. Actually, I believe I think you can use it either way.
Right. I think that's right.
Well, when we get some money, that'll be like something we can get. If we can get something, if we get some station, probably the first like party loot type of thing to. Or we might be at the level where we start finding those things,
Needler pistols use magnetic fields and pressurized gas to launch darts that eject a substance into the target. The ejection gun can be fitted with cartridges containing medicine or poison. Favorite of assassins and battlefield medics. That's odd to me that it does damage. I guess 1d4 is considered like nothing. Like if you put like a Mark III healing serum and when you're at super high level, it's like who cares about the 1d4 you take?
That is pretty funny though.
It's crazy how, like, for melee weapons, for operatives, it goes from 95 credits, and the next one you can get is 6,000 credits.
Just to reiterate, Mo did not buy the Mark II healing in order to...
Yeah, I know.
Okay. That. But I do believe I bought the infravision upgrade. Is that correct?
Nope.
No?
You cannot afford it. You'd have to get rid of the infravision upgrade and the serum. To get
all right, I just want to make sure I'm right on my sheet. Okay, that's fine.
You have only the Lashunta Ringwear 2, the Tactical Pike, the Mark 1 upgrade, and 20 serums of healing. That's it. That's all you got.
You don't have the infrared?
And, well, how much do I have left? Because if I sell my armor... Yeah, I have so many of these long arms.
Sell them. No one can use them.
Like I've got one thing I started with. This it has a bulk 3. It's I don't know. It's like a battery, a gun that I can't use. I can't carry it.
I don't know. What are you currently wearing?
Lashunta 1. But I can
figure it. Ringwear 1 is worth 41.5.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 41. But how much money do I have right now? Like after I purchased everything. I think it was like 39.
All right. You had 30.6 credits left. If you sell the armor, you have 72.1 credits.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to claw my way out of this hole. Okay. Thanks for...
So wait, what you do not have the infrared upgrade?
No.
How much are you short?
30... Let's see. If I sell my light reaction cannon, that's 25... plus 41, that's 66, plus 30, 96 credits. Right. I need 104 credits.
All right, I loan you 104 credits.
Okay.
What are your rates of your loaning? I'm just curious.
It's 104 credits. I can afford any rate.
Never a lender or borrower be.
Thank you, Polonius. He's very clear for me.
I like the idea that everyone can see in the dark so that we
Yeah,
can be more stealthy.
Well, also, I'm going to be in the front, so it's going to be helpful.
Yeah.
All right, so wait, what are you selling to do all this?
I'm selling the light reaction cannon.
All right, you have 97.1 credits, so who's giving you? Roji's giving you 105?
Yes.
Yep.
So you have exactly 202.1 credits?
And he spends 200 immediately to buy a infrared slot thing.
Yeah.
Infrared sensor for his armor.
Wow, Mo has 2.1 credits to his name.
Yay! That's our Mo.
No wonder you need all that free food.
Yeah, I'm going to make that basket last as long as I can.
Well, I already guaranteed I'm getting you donuts tomorrow.
You're like a college student, like living on like ramen.
Ramen.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He's just going to use his celebrity to get free food at restaurants. That's what can I say?
You're going to rely on the generosity of others.
Yes. He's going to trade in on his fame.
I'm going to have to buy Hero Lab this week and make it nice.
I bought it. I haven't used it yet.
Okay, with that, after you go on your shopping spree and get all your upgrades and feel all wonky and happy, you get a missive from Chesek, who wishes to meet with you.
Ooh, that sounds good. What are the details? Where does he want to meet?
In his office right away.
Ooh.
Who is he again?
The leader for the Starfinder Society. Your
Oh,
contact.
Yeah.
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 You mean the one who just made a huge profit off of exploiting our image?
No, that was,
The proceeds went to the Starfinder Society.
wasn't that Cora or Tor? Nor. That was Nor.
Well, Norse used his camera, but yeah, it went to Starfinder.
Oh, yeah. It went to...
Yeah, Chesek was the bug thing. He's a bug.
Yes. No.
So anything I can do to help the Starfinders.
Yes, that's our motive right there.
So there we go. The boys have just started book 2. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Looks like they came back and they were quite the celebrities. Did not see that coming. I also like how there was a podcast within a podcast. Or should I say a reality show within the podcast. It was getting a little confusing there, but it's awfully fun. Also, I kept in the shopping spree because that's a big part of role-playing, and we asked a whole bunch of people from the Roll for Combat Discord channel what they thought, and overwhelmingly everyone wanted us to keep it in. So we kept it in. It's not like they do this very often, so I thought it might be fun. And if you don't like it, you can always just skip it. So we have a lot going on, so let's get right to the interview with Jason Keeley from Paizo, where we talk about the new Starfinder Pack Worlds book, we talk about Pathfinder version 2, we talk about what it takes to make an adventure path, and a whole bunch more. Let's get to the interview. Hey everyone, this is Steve from Roll for Combat, and today we have a special guest. We have Jason Keeley from Paizo, who's the Starfinder developer, or should I say a Starfinder developer, and he's joining us today to talk about all things Starfinder and maybe a little bit of Pathfinder since there was some big news recently. And thanks for joining us, Jason.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So first up, could you tell us who you are and what you do at Paizo so everyone knows?
Okay. As you said, I'm a developer, and I didn't start out that way. I actually started off as an editor here at Paizo about 3 years ago, and I just kind of at one point they were like, hey, we're making the Starfinder game. You want to help? And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And then it kind of snowballed from there. At this point, I am working mostly on the adventure paths.
So also, you have an interesting road on how you got to Paizo, because you sort of actually did what everyone dreamed of. You actually were a freelancer. You entered the RPG Superstar contest, and then you were hired. So could you talk about that? Because that's like everyone's dream, I imagine.
Yeah, it's actually like that's the way that's a good story to talk about, but it's actually a coincidence more than anything. I was doing. I actually decided my old job. I didn't want it anymore. I'm going to get a new job, and then for a couple of years, I was applying to a bunch of different places, RPG related, board game related, that kind of thing. And then I applied to an editor position at Paizo, won summer. And because it was a contract position and I would have had to have moved from New York to Seattle, they were like, well, it might only be for 6 months, so we're not going to offer it to you. But here's start doing some freelance for us. Talk to the managing editor, get some editing freelance, get some writing freelance. And so I did that. I started doing that. A few months later, RPG Superstar started happening. And I was like, oh, well, I should start doing this again. I had done it a couple years previously and didn't get very far. So I was kind of like, well, I don't want to do it anymore. So I figured, well, maybe this time I could get a little further, and actually did. And then coincidentally, an editor position opened up, and I took it. But it didn't hurt that I was doing well in RPG Superstar.
Okay. Did you have to withdraw because you're like, oh, sorry, guys, I got hired by Paizo. I can't be in it anymore?
100%. I was actually on I'd gotten the job offer right before I left for a cruise. And so on the cruise, I had to like hunt around to get internet to basically be like, well, let's see here. Who do I talk to? Who do I tell that I have to drop out? And the people, Owen Stevens, who was running it, knew that I was being hired, but I had to basically go to the forums and be like, for unrelated reasons, I have to drop out because I'm going to be moving soon. And that's all I said. But then once it was sort of made more official, more public, I could be like, well, it was because I got hired.
And then everyone hated you because they're like, wait a second, that's not fair. Why weren't we hired? We're in the Superstar too. We're in the top 8. What happened?
Just had to. I was working on it before this Superstar contest even happened. So I guess you got to just keep bugging them for about a year. No, it wasn't even that long, but for months later.
But I just even wanted to bring that up because you hear this all the time because people are like, oh, how do you get into the industry? And John has a similar story about how he got hired from Blizzard. It's like, you just got to be doing it. Like if you sit there saying, oh, I want to join this company, and then you don't do any of the actual work, like whether it's making video game levels or writing role-playing adventures or supplements, like you're not going to get hired. It's just that simple. Like you need to actually be doing it, even if it's on your own.
It's 100% true.
Yeah, John was doing mods. I mean, John, do you want to give like your quick story?
Yeah,
somewhere?
I mean, well, I was doing mods just for the joy of it. My real job didn't have a lot of creativity, so for like 4.5, 5 years, I was just building 3D levels, and then by the time I was done, I was like, wow, I wasn't done. I was still doing it, and then I had a portfolio, it turned out, and got a job at Blizzard.
Yeah, it didn't hurt also for me that previous to all of this, I had basically formed my own role-playing game company, and about 5 years before that. And we had started off by doing a D20 product that I wrote an adventure for, and I did a lot of editing for the main book. And then a year or so after that, we put out our an original game. It's called Fortune's Fool, and it's a tarot-based role-playing game system. So I had like physical copies of things that I could show people, like, hey, I worked on this, I edited this, I did the layout for this, I wrote for it.
Yeah, that's actually pretty important to actually have something to show, because, and especially if it's polished, it has to be polished, and you being an editor is especially good because they can, you're almost fire and forget, they can trust you to actually do things the right way without having to clean up your mess over and over,
Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of the other editors, the current editors, have said in a lot of ways. That like we like it when editors become developers, because then the stuff that they develop ends up being generally cleaner. Not that we don't have great other developers who weren't editors beforehand, of course, but
right. And getting something over the finish line is especially important, because a lot of people will start and stop things, and they'll have a portfolio of a whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that, but none of it is actually really, there's not a lot of iterations on stuff. And if you've actually published something, with your own effort, then chances are it's going to be something that's a professional level quality. And that's really what's rare actually in the industry.
Oh yeah. And our Fortune's Full game won in a Judge's Choice Any that a bunch of years ago. So
nice.
Not bad. I can tell you I have at least a dozen projects that I have started and have never finished. So
right.
Just because I finished a few things doesn't mean I finished everything.
So I was actually really excited to have you on the show just because we love adventure paths, and I hear you love adventure paths too. And of all, it's like I just love them. Like, it's like it's a larger story. It's, broken up. It gives your characters room to grow. You could actually advance them. It's like when in the old days when you did adventures, it felt like a book of short stories with like the common character. Like you went a little adventure and then it was over, and then another adventure, and it was just like was kind of disjointed. But that's why I like the adventure paths, is you can tell these large, overarching, gigantic stories and have your characters really develop and change over time. So I just wanted to talk to you about like the process, like how it actually works at Paizo. Like what do you do? How does it all come together?
It's a long, exciting, hopefully, process, and I've like you said, I've read all of the Paizo's adventure paths ever since they were started 9 years ago or whatever it is, and I've always enjoyed just reading them. I've run a number of them, and so I was excited to sort of work for this company, being as they produce the exciting quality that I had enjoyed so far beforehand. But the adventure path all starts with an idea. Obviously, we have to come up with these ideas. What's this one about? Is this one, this one is about a super weapon from beyond the stars, or is this one about overthrowing a country, or this is the horror one that is about a spooky Ustalov, or is this one is about mummies, right? So once that is done, we figure out, we had to break it down into each volume. What happens here? What happens in volume 2? What happens in volume 3? What happens in volume 4? And once we have done that, we write a big outline that explains everything. For the most part, I mean, we leave some stuff up to the writers, but we just sort of give you the sort of what are the high points that we want to hit, and then we start finding authors. Authors send us what they think the specifics of this might be. Hey, this person's going to be named this, so there's going to be like 3 encounters with elementals over here, that sort of thing. I will, being the sort of the adventure path developer for Starfinder at the moment, one of 2, basically. And once I get those outlines, I approve them. I say, I have concerns about this. Go this direction instead. Then they take it back and then they write a bunch. And then I get it. I get their raw turnover, and then I check through to make sure it all syncs up with the rest of the stories, because an adventure path being several volumes, that has to kind of flow from one point to the other. And a lot of the times we're asking 6 authors to write 6 different adventures simultaneously. So if you're writing volume 3, you might not have you'll have the outline for number 2. You'll know what the general gist is, but you haven't seen the text, so you don't necessarily know how it ends or how it begins. So there's a lot of basically stitching up a Frankenstein's monster sort of thing that I do.
So with the adventure paths, I know they've gone through quite a number of iterations. Like the first adventure paths, I remember, really were almost like 6 disjointed adventures that were sometimes very closely connected, but sometimes they were more like, loosely connected. And I remember I forgot which adventure path it was. It might have been Karen Crown, where there was like nothing to do for rogues. I remember that there was like basically rogues were completely forgotten in that adventure path. And I remember at Gen Con talking to some of the Paizo guys about this. And then with Iron Gods, I saw a new structure where you guys, that was, the beginning of like a real difference in adventure paths, is that it was almost like a trilogy where you had books 1 and 2 sort of have a main baddie, books 3 and 4 have a main baddie, books 5 and 6 have a main bad guy. So it's sort of like a trilogy with an overall story, and it just had a more structured feel to it. And it just seems like that's sort of been the way you've been going. It's like going from sort of a loose story to a much more structured, very organized story that has, like 3 chapters or 3 main points to it, like a trilogy.
Well, I don't think that the process had changed much over the years, but in general, we've had more people and working on these, and more people to bounce ideas off of, and more brainstorming sessions. So I think over the years, we've just gotten to refine the process just through experience alone. And I think sometimes it maybe seemed like it is not necessarily easier to write an adventure, to do 6 adventure paths. So this one takes place in this section, and you don't ever go back to this area of the world. And number 2 takes place in this area. But the crafting that longer, sort of more connected story is is difficult.
So I don't want to hog this all up, since every one of these guys has played a trillion adventure paths, especially Chris and Bob. If you guys have any general questions about adventure paths you've always wanted answered, now's your time.
Well, actually, my first question is just, are you going to... Well, this is actually the spoiler one, based on what were plans for creating new adventure paths for the original Pathfinder once Pathfinder version 2 comes out.
I don't think this is going to change at all. We want to be able to tell the same kinds of stories, essentially. Like that, the adventure paths are kind of, Paizo's flagship product in a way. When you get past the sort of meat of the role playing game, but because that's what people like to buy, people like to read through them, even if they're not playing them. So I don't think that's going to change much. We're going to just have to integrate the new mechanics, and I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's good. How long does it take to write an adventure? Like you said, you have 6 people working at the same time. Like from the very first meeting that you have pitching the adventure to the final draft. Like how long do people have to work on things?
We try to give authors about 6 to 8 weeks to write an adventure path, and that's for the Starfinder adventure paths are a bit shorter. They're ranging about 25,000 words, whereas the Pathfinder adventure paths are like 42,000 words. So I think the Pathfinder adventure paths, maybe we give them an extra week or 2 to write. But for the most part, we're looking at this stuff almost a year in advance. Just before starting here, I got out of a Starfinder adventure path meeting for the adventure path that launches next February. So
wow.
We haven't, that was all the brainstorming session. So we start early.
Oh, can we brainstorm too? Can we give you some ideas?
Yeah.
Give me all your ideas. I won't tell you what the adventure path is about, but tell me what it is. Just go. Riff. What do you like? What's your favorite thing?
Interstellar gambler. You have to knock over a casino, join the mob. Eventually you get involved with political corruptness and you overthrow a government. There you go.
I'm going to be stealing all of these ideas, by the way, just so you know.
How long does it, after they write it, how long does it take before it's like you said in February? Is a substantial part of that time just the adventure in the can ready for release, or does it get play tested? What are the blocks of time that it takes to do something like that?
We sort of kind of leave it up to the author to make sure that it if the author has time to playtest it, they should. We don't really have time to playtest every adventure that they write. We do like to bounce. We're always thinking of player mindsets and whatnot, and how it goes across. So in a lot of ways, we feel like we have a fair grip. I mean, obviously, every group is going to break an adventure path at some point because everyone has an idea that no one has ever had before.
Yeah.
I have a question. So will there ever be an adventure path made without haunts? Because I don't like haunts.
Dead Suns doesn't have, it has about 12 haunts in it.
I do not like haunts.
Yes, we know you don't like haunts.
Well, Starfinder doesn't have haunts as a concept.
Yeah, I don't remember haunts in a long time, yeah.
Well, haunts were started out as a good idea. It's it's an environmental trap, except they were never fully fleshed out, ever. And it's sort of well, how do you get rid of them? And there's no way. There
are ways to get rid of them, and they're usually quite specific. And a lot of times you can figure it out, but it is an annoyance.
It's not like a trap where you disable it. Trust me, I know. It's I've seen haunts where it's oh yeah, you have to go find the person's skeleton, and then you have to bury it on church ground. Oh, come on. Are you really kidding? Are you kidding me?
And then
but at the other side, haunts were mostly used in that the adventure path, which was meant to draw upon horror tropes. I mean, it was intended to actually be part of that verb. I mean,
they pop up in a lot of adventure paths. It's a good low level encounter.
Which actually would lead me to the question of building Starfinder concepts in the future. Jason, is what other science fiction tropes do you plan on bringing on? I mean, you certainly have the Dark Tapestry as the Cthulhuoid science fiction tropes. You certainly have spaceships, but obviously it's a vast field.
Oh, yeah, there's all sorts of... I'd like to be able to try to hit a lot of the sci-fi tropes over the next couple of years, however long I'm going to be doing this. So I'm hoping we can hit Genetic engineering gone wrong. I'm hoping we can hit terraforming planets. I'm hoping we can go towards maybe time travel. I kind of have a bug about time travel.
That would be cool. Go back to Pathfinder Galarian.
Well, maybe not that kind of time travel.
Or go back.
Are there going to be space hippies at any point?
I think there might already be one of the planets has some kind of like space hippie styles.
Well, I would imagine the time travel concept would be you go back to the gap and find out what happened, right?
Well, you know what will happen. You're going to go back pre-gap. You'll have this amazing adventure. You'll come back forward, and you'll forget everything. You'll never be able to remember. And then you all go back to level 1. That would be fun. Do an entire adventure path, get all the way up to level 15, and then at the end, it was all a dream.
All right.
That's bad. That's lazy writing.
That's wonderfully horrible for the players and wonderfully evil for the GM. I love it. Taking notes, Jason? Come on, you got to do it.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. I got it all down.
Yeah, those are some doozies.
Oh, don't forget robots running amok and taking over.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jason, now that you're being recorded, Star Trek or Star Wars? Go. Pick one.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Gosh.
You can
I
take
don't
the
know.
fifth. It's quite all right.
I can't pick. I like them both equally, I think.
Very good. Correct answer.
All right, how about this? Buck Rogers or Battlestar Galactica? Not the new one, the 80s version.
That's tough.
Buck Rogers, then. I don't think I've really seen too much of either of them. So, but if I had to pick, I don't know. Weird dogs. Weird robot
weird
dogs.
dogs and women in
they both had
spandex
weird
pants.
robot dogs. Let's be fair.
Oh, that's a good point. And I plead the fifth.
He's like, okay, get me out of here. I can't keep answering these questions about terrible
Old
science.
science
From the
fiction.
80s,
Yes, I know.
70s, maybe even.
Yeah, much of which has been updated extremely well in the last 15 years. I'm sorry, the original Battlestar brought us the extremely good new Battlestar, so there it is.
I wouldn't go.
Except they had a plan, except they didn't have a plan.
Well, the writers didn't have a plan, but the Cylons theoretically.
Aren't the writers the Cylons? Well, let's not go there. So one thing I wanted to ask you, Jason, is that, and I talked about this way back, is the first adventure paths always seem to have to be a couple of tropes since they're such low level. You always have to have sort of like an investigation trope, which is usually kind of safe because then you can get them from level 1 to level 2 without too much fighting, and it's a little bit more role-playing. You have sort of the dungeon crawl trope, which is traditional, but then you're fighting like very low-level creatures. And then you can have, actually, those are the two main ones I can think of off the top of my head. Is it always sort of like, oh, we always have to start them off doing one of these 2 or 3 things almost always because they're just such low level?
What becomes tricky is you don't have to necessarily do a dungeon with rats and then or an investigation where you get a bunch of story award stuff. But the tricky thing is to finding out why your first and second level PCs are able to defeat whatever it is they're going up against. So maybe it's, you're going into an area where the soldiers are very, very inexperienced, and then write the story around that. Why are they going in there doing that? Or they're going into an area where, we have our low CR goblins. They have to fight some goblins, hooray. Or something else like that. That's always the tricky part. But I don't think I think you can do a lot of stuff as long as it doesn't break the suspension of disbelief for the players.
So I wanted to talk about your adventure path, because you wrote the newest one, The Dead Suns, The Ruined Clouds. And
Yes.
I read it, and it's fantastic, guys. There's a lot of really cool original ways for you to die. I love it. We can't talk about it, but what do you want to talk about, Jason? Because I think this is your first adventure path module that you wrote, correct?
Yeah, this is the first one I wrote. As sort of like we came on, we were having to write Starfinder adventure path kind of while we were working on the core rule book and all that sort of thing. So all the all of Dead Suns is written by people from Paizo, so we know what's not necessarily people who have written adventures before, but people who know the system or people who know how we do adventures, that sort of thing. So I just kind of went like, I'd love to do that, please. And and Rob McCreary, our new creative director, who was at the time, who has just basically been working on Pathfinder Adventure Paths for a few years now, was basically on this because he had the experience. He was heading up the Starfinder AP, and he was like, okay, sure. Which one? He gave me a choice of a couple of them, and I was like, this one here with the and this other thing. I think I could see a good idea with that. And it ended up being that I had to write about 2/3 of the entire book, with like extra monsters in the back, and then the spaceship that comes with every volume, the article in the back that explains the city where you are, that sort of thing. So it was an undertaking for sure.
What levels does that span?
That is 7 to 8, I think.
Like, what are the popular levels that you enjoy writing adventures for?
I mean, I feel like I could. I haven't written enough adventures to decide what my favorite area is at the moment. Because right after finishing this one, I actually ended up writing a volume of Return of the Rune Lords, which was, I think, actually like 12 to 13th or something like that. So slightly higher level. And I'm like, oh, and also Pathfinder. So I had to like completely shift gears and spend another 2 months writing that. And then I also wrote, right around that same time, I'm not going to say what it is, but there will be I'll just say it. There's going to be a Starfinder adventure for Free RPG Day.
Yeah. Oh, very nice. Oh. All right.
Cool.
I wrote that.
Wow, you've been busy.
The last 6 months of 2017, I was super busy.
So I wanted to ask about the adventure paths. It's funny, when one gripe I have with some of the Pathfinder ones, especially at the higher levels, is because it's the medium advancement track, there's a lot of filler. And when you read them all the time and you play them, you can tell. Like, you can just tell, like, oh, there's a huge dungeon you have to go through to get to the end and kill 15 monsters because we have to get you up to the next level. And it just, that's a real problem. And one of the things about Starfinder I like, because of the fast advancement track, I don't know whether it was accident or on purpose, you can actually, there's not a lot of fat on the bone. It's almost all meat. They're much leaner. They're just like, it's just a better experience because of it. And I don't know if that was an accident, a happy accident, or intentional, but there's a lot of leftovers, a lot of extra stuff in Pathfinder adventure paths that, to be honest, you can just totally skip and it really wouldn't matter too much. And you just make sure they have enough XP to get to the next level.
Yeah, that's kind of an artifact of the 3.5 days kind of thing. Well, basically, I think the Starfinder thing was basically a happy accident. We had fewer people working on Starfinder in general. Had everything out so the volumes are slimmer, so the adventures need to be shorter. And so we decided that and we had to come up with a new. We couldn't use the exact numbers for XP, I think, that are in Pathfinder. So we had to use slightly different numbers. And so we decided we would only have one track. Otherwise, we'd have to make up 3 different sets of numbers for like fast, slow, and medium or whatever. So we picked those, and then from there on out, we were able to sort of say, oh, okay, well, we can fit two levels in an adventure path volume, basically, or essentially go to a third level, but not actually play in it. And you need X number of XP, and that's how it works.
So let's talk a little bit about the new one. So Against the Aeon Throne is coming out in the summer, and that's going monthly, and that's only 3 adventure paths, which I actually think is pretty good, because 6 sounds good until you spend 3 years trying to finish it. And then by the time you get to after the first year or 2, you feel an itch to play something else. So it's almost like, was it Dragon's Domain? Is that what it's called? That was the one that, that was almost that. I think that was levels 1 through 7 as well. So it's almost like that size, which sounds like a nice size too. It's one of those things when I heard it, I'm like, oh, 3? And then I'm like, you know what? Actually, that sounds pretty good.
It's an experiment. Because we have decided that Starfinder's been so popular, to take the AP to a monthly schedule, we kind of perforce needed to split it up a little bit, try this out, because of, hey, what can we get? All of a sudden we need to basically do twice as much work on the AP as we had previously. What can we get done? We can start this 3-volume one and start getting it written really quick. So that was the decision that was made. And the new path, Against the Aeon Throne, sees us bring in one of our larger threats, the Aslanti Star Empire, who are basically, the Empire from Star Wars, a little bit Nazis. They're baddies, and they're pretty expansionist. But in a 3-volume set, you can kind of meet them, but you're not going to defeat them, right? It's maybe in a 6-volume, you'd be like, oh, eventually you kill the Aeon Emperor, whoever he is, right? Now that would be too much it would change the entire setting. But in a 3-volume one, you can kind of like do some surgical strikes, get in there and get out, just get something done that defeats the Aslanti in whatever it is that they're doing. And then from there, we're going to pick up another 3-volume adventure path, which we will be announcing probably at PaizoCon, and I'm very excited about it. Because this one, I wrote the outline myself. Like that's the first one that I had was my idea. I wrote the outline for it. I got the authors, so it's my baby.
He's taking over the world.
Well, actually, that leads me to a question about like the plan for Starfinder as a story going forward. I mean, Pathfinder's World of Galarian was written so you had stories in every nation that would work. But another way that other companies have done is White Wolf did Vampire the Masquerade as a story with a beginning, middle, and the end, and they actually ended that world at one point. Do you know with Starfinder how you want to do this?
I think we're going to stick to the sort of the Pathfinder way of doing things, in that there's like, here's a whole vast, well, we have a whole system, the Pact World system, which has a whole lot of plot hooks everywhere. And then we have an entire galaxy outside of that to tell any kind of story we want in any fashion. So we can go outside of the Pact Worlds to a planet you've never heard of and have a whole adventure there, have a whole adventure path there, right? So we're not going to, we don't have any plans. I'm like, and then after 3 adventure paths, we shut the whole thing down now. So
I didn't expect that. I just meant, if you had an idea of like some points you wanted to head towards?
I don't. At the moment, we don't have any big sort of like signposts of like, well, at this point, we're going to change the setting in this fashion. That doesn't mean we won't do it if we decide to think that it's something we need to do. For instance, after all this time, in Pathfinder, Taldor is changing.
Nice.
Yeah. So the War for the Crown Avenger path that also began in February starts off with the old king dies, and then you basically have to put someone else on the throne. And that's going to be what happens from here on forward.
And they do some stuff in organized play too. That's sort of overarching things, right?
Yes, the organized play seasons definitely have a story that changes how Pathfinder Society in the world works often, or that sort of thing. Eventually, we have and Starfinder Society is doing the same thing with the Year of Skyward Stars, which I'm sure John has told you all about. Eventually, that answer, that mystery might get answered. I don't know. I'm not privy to exactly what they're doing, but they have those, at least some kind of wrap up.
We'll find that wrap up at PaizoCon.
I don't know how they're announcing the season. I forget if I think they might be announcing. Oh, of course, they'll have to announce season 2 for Starfinder at PaizoCon. Yes,
and we will all be there at PaizoCon, so we can all play together. Yay!
Looking forward to it.
It's going to be so much fun. So I also want to talk, before we talk about Pathfinder, I almost forgot about Pack Worlds. It's like, oh, you guys have a brand new hardcover book coming
also
out. Yeah, in a few weeks, actually. And that's a big deal because like we're starved for anything Starfinder. And this one sounds awesome.
Yeah, in a few weeks. I mean, I have a copy of it here in my hand.
So
nice.
How do we get photocopies of that?
Take pictures and email.
You've seen the art in the blog that I posted early last week.
Yeah, I saw it. It's nice, but that's just art. Where's the book? Come on.
It's coming. You'll get yours, but I have mine now.
All right. Well, then start reading. Start on page 1 and just keep going.
In the beginning.
It's the books on tape version of Pack Worlds.
For getting my free one, can I mention that it's coming out on my birthday? Do I get special treatment for?
So what can you say? I know there's some new races. There's 14 worlds. Like, you probably can do a better job than I can.
Yeah, let me give you the pitch, because actually, I realized that I'm actually I was the development lead for this book too. So we have each of the Pact Worlds, which there are 14, and that is including the sun, because there is something in the sun that you can go to and visit. We have a nice map, full page, full color map, a sort of gazetteer that explains some exciting sites with lots of little plot hooks here and there, sort of a general overview of the planets, who lives there, and what the geography and weather is like, and that sort of thing. And then for each world, we also have one new theme, and these range a gladiator theme for the blood sports on Akaton, a corporate agent theme for Absalom Station, what was the other one? Dragon-blooded theme for Triaxis, the planet of dragons and such. So all sorts of things like that you can sort of play with your character. And you don't have to be from those planets to take that theme. It's just sort of like those are the most closely tied to that planet. That's just chapter 1. Chapter 2, chapter 1 is, of course, 75% of the book. But chapter 2 goes into some new starships, basically, some starship options that you might want to take. We talked a little bit about the drift and how that works in terms of like its planar traits and that sort of. And then we have some new starship options, some new starship weapons, and then 5 new sets of starships like we had in the core rulebook for ships from Avalon, Hell Knight ships, Iomedian ships, which you saw on the thing on the preview, that sort of thing. So we got like 3 ships from each faction.
Nice.
With some beautiful art. Chapter 3. Go ahead. Yes.
How long does it take to get art? Like you mentioned, we talked about playtesting. Like, how much time is allotted for art? Is that one of the bottlenecks sometimes, or is that like how much lead time do you need to give artists, and how much time do they have to work on something generally?
We like to give them as much time as possible, and so we can see sketches and sort of comment on them and that sort of thing. We generally often have to write a sort of art brief before I finish developing text to be like, oh, I want these 3 ships. They need to look like this. So I have to look at what the person turned over, the author turned over, and kind of get a general idea and be able to explain it. And we kind of know what things should look like because we're told them to write it. But we try to give several weeks to 2 months, I think, for art. Maybe sometimes more.
Good. That's really good, actually.
Sometimes we have to order art really quickly,
right?
But we try not to do that too often.
So wait, what was in chapter 3?
Chapter 3 is...
I hear you like very loudly turning the pages in the book.
Oh, can you? Sorry.
That's all right. We're like, shunk here. Wow. I'm going through the book and you guys can't look at it. Ha, ha, ha.
It's just, I'm just a big tease. Chapter 3 is called Supporting Cast, and that has basically some more NPCs for GMs to use in their campaigns. We have sort of 3 NPCs per spread about NPCs like cultists or space pirates or law enforcement agencies or criminals, that sort of thing. So these are just sort of nice. This is almost like a tiny, tiny, tiny monster manual. And then we move on to chapter 4, which is all of our player options. This thing is it's only like maybe like let's see here, 20 pages. It's 25 pages. It's chock full of stuff. It's got kind of a little bit of everything, and that includes a bunch of new archetypes. I've heard people saying on the boards lately that they don't like the way Starfinder has done archetypes. What do you guys think?
What's the problem with them?
I don't know exactly. They just don't like it because they're too generalized, I guess. I'm not sure.
I haven't really messed. I love archetypes in Pathfinder. Like I try to make the most weird, complex, multi-class character with multiple archetypes. So I love the way Pathfinder does it.
I think I know what the complaint is because it's the overall design philosophy of Starfinder is just that things aren't as big. In Pathfinder, you could have a +5 Vorpal sword, but here it's like, oh, you're an archetype and you get a little bit of a bonus. It's everything's like little bits. Nothing is really that big in Starfinder. It's lots of little things that add up to something bigger. And, personally, from a design point of view, I like that a lot more. And I think, in Pathfinder, archetypes were big. There was big differences between the archetypes. But in Starfinder, it's not that much. And, it could be a flavor thing. It could be maybe it was the way it was presented. It's just like a name, I don't know. I mean,
are you talking about just the numeric values, or you're talking about the flavor?
Both, because Starfinder in general just has sort of a more nuanced, less aggressive, method when it comes to numbers. The math is much lower in general as opposed to Pathfinder.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's just the way it is. I mean. And you can't have everything turned up to 11. I mean, it's just like that's the D&D first edition. Everything's up to 11, and the new ways of 5e and probably what we see from Pathfinder version 2 and now Starfinder, it's more nuanced, more linear, scaling. Not +5s to everything, but maybe a +1 here and there, but that's about it. That's just the way it's designed.
Well, let me ask you a question, though, because what you're calling archetypes in Starfinder, okay, so I'm an operative, and they have different specialization choices. Is that what you're referring to as an archetype? Like Daredevil, Hacker, Ghost, Explorer, those things?
Actually, the archetype is like a different thing that you can bolt onto your character, and they essentially kind of let you into... Mostly what we're doing, especially here in Pack Worlds, are the archetypes are connected to different organizations. So we have like a steward officer, which is basically like our space police. Or if you want to be a Hell Knight, we got a little bit of Hell Knight flavor in here.
Where are those archetypes? Because I feel like a noob. Because are they in the core rulebook?
There's only 2 in the core rulebook, and they're at the end of classes.
Yeah, there's not a lot there, but I knew. Look, the cool rulebook. I mean, we've heard it all before. It was like an 800-page Starfinder rulebook. It had to get down to 500 pages.
Yeah,
something had to get cut, and that you could tell that was cut, and they were just going to add it later. And Pathfinder was like this too when it first came out. People forget it took like a year and a half before it started to get some meat. So
that's right. Yeah, we're getting some of that. I mean, 2018, you're going to see some. Besides Pack Worlds, you're going to see some other books that are going to really help with filling out those gaps.
So that comes out soon. So, all right, here we go. We got to talk. Everyone, so Pathfinder version 2. Tell us everything about it. Just spill your guts.
I can't. I can read the FAQ to you out loud. Why publish a new edition? When we created the Pathfinder role-playing game back in 2008, have y'all fallen asleep yet?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because it's one of those things that people talked about, and when Starfinder came out, people were like, "Oh, is this the playtest for Pathfinder? Is it the playtest?" And you know what? I hope it is, because we have played Pathfinder version 1 to death. I mean, we've played hundreds and hundreds of sessions, and we do love it. But oh my God, if you don't have Hero Lab and an Excel spreadsheet, good luck making a character. It's just very, very hard. And the nice thing about Starfinder is it's the nice balance between very complex and yet very simple. They seem to hit a perfect balance. And if Pathfinder version 2 is anything like Starfinder, I'll be very happy. I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah.
There are some differences. I think Vic Wertz put it on the message boards, put it the same way, that Starfinder and Pathfinder 2.0 are siblings. They're both children of Pathfinder first edition, right? But they have their own differences. They're not twins.
They're both next generation, basically.
They're an evolution of the older system.
You learn what works, and you keep that, and then you learn what doesn't work, and you kind of rewrite that. So,
yeah.
So to return to your earlier point, Starfinder is a genetic modification of Pathfinder.
Yeah, basically, it's a mutant. So the design team who has been working on the second edition for a while now has been was instrumental in helping us get Starfinder out the door. So you might see some familiar things, some similar DNA to continue the science metaphor.
I mean, one of the things they were talking about on the blog was the action economy, because the one thing I like about the action economy of Starfinder is that it's quick. Combat goes fast. You only have a move, a standard, a swift, and that's kind of it, And the Pathfinder version 2 is even more interesting because you have 3 actions. That's it. And you can do anything you want with those 3. If you want to move 3 times, you can move 3 times. If you want to pull out an item and then attack something and then open a door, you can do that. That's 3 actions. And it's just one of those, wow, it's so simple, yet it might just work type things. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, I have done some playtesting over the past several months, and it works. You'll find that you'll be doing kind of very similar stuff to what you'd be doing in first edition: moving, pulling a sword out, attacking a person. Great, that's 3 actions, right? And before you had to worry about like whether one of those is a move action or one of those is a swift action, one of those is a standard action, right? But now, if it's just like the next round, I'm standing next to a bad guy and I have my sword out, I could just attack that person 3 times. Granted, I might not be as good on that last hit because of accumulating penalties of making multiple attacks in one round. But maybe I've got a feat or two that helps that out. Maybe I've got a weapon that's a little fancier that helps me with those penalties. So it's a lot of I think you'll find it familiar with some changes that in a way could ease a little bit of the burden of trying to memorize that book.
And I can say it could have easily, with Starfinder, gotten a lot more complex instead of getting simpler, because you're now working with technological items where there's things like ammunition, which really wasn't a big factor in Pathfinder, and a whole new different categories of weapons. So yeah, if it's anything, I mean, it'll probably be simpler than Starfinder, honestly, with the number of, it's still staying in the fantasy trope, not the science fiction. So,
and people have been like on the message boards a little bit saying like they don't want a dumbed down version of Pathfinder, and it really isn't. It's just
faster.
Faster. It's streamlined.
So much better. I mean, it's not tons better, but it's just it's easier. It's better.
I mean, one thing also I saw in the playtest was the weapons. John, you like this, or actually we'll all like this. It's very similar to MMOs where you have a normal sword, but then if you have I forgot what they called it, like a, not a masterwork, but like a master sword, you get a +1. But then if you have like a epic sword, you get a +2. If you have a legendary sword, you have a +3. So any weapon could have that quality, and that's how it gets the pluses to it, because it's a better quality. It's sort of like the, rare system in an MMO. Very similar.
Yeah.
There will still be magic swords and such, and armor and shields and stuff like that. Nothing is changing so radically that you're not going to recognize it.
Oh, the 10th level spells. I don't know about that.
Haha,
that was
I
a
like
red
that.
flag right there.
Yeah, it was a big red flag.
What's wrong with 10th level spells? I want to teleport to the moon and make a clone there. And
You can do that with 9th level spells.
Tensor did that at 9th level.
I want to do it in one spell.
You don't need to
10th
do
level
that at 10th
spells, you
level.
teleport to the moon and blow it up.
I like that a lot.
I can't say anything about the magic system. As far as to be honest, I didn't play that much. I played a straight sword and shield fighter for most of the playtest, so I didn't interact with the magic system too much.
I'm looking forward to it.
What do you play? It's like funny. It's like, okay, you guys work there. You're a slave to your passion. What do you do in your free time? In the sense that I know you're in a game. I think with like
yes. I just actually started running a Starfinder game for the Starfinder team for the most part, and some extra people. And we are kind of running a little bit through the Starfinder Society scenarios because we don't want them to be siloed away in their own things. We kind of want to know what's going on over there. And we basically, though, everyone wants to use the new stuff, right? So I have a new race from Pack Worlds on this team, and a Skittermander, and actually 2 new races. And
wait a second,
so,
you guys don't have the boons for that. You can't be doing that. You're cheating.
We're not actually playing Starfinder Society.
You're cheating, cheaters. So you cheat. That's
yes,
what you do with
cheat.
Paizo?
We can cheat.
Okay.
We can do that.
They're allowed.
Well, you actually do write the rules, so I guess it's not really cheating, is it?
Yeah, it's not really cheating. So I try to play, and there's still a second edition playtest going on that I try to get into every once in a while. But a lot of times I am playing board games, I'm playing video games, watching
What
movies.
board games are you playing right now?
I am deep into Pandemic Legacy Season 2.
Oh, I didn't start it yet.
Pandemic,
I didn't start Season 2 yet.
Well, don't I actually have a Tumblr where I just spoil the thing. So if you want to read my spoilers but don't want to play for yourself, you certainly can. I take pictures of the board and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I love those legacy games. I'm actually halfway through Gloomhaven myself.
yeah, Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven.
I just something about legacy games where I don't. It's not that much different than say like Descent was, with had its a campaign and you could, make your character better and stuff like that. But this is something about putting stickers on a board and then tearing up a card when it's no longer usable.
Actually, I know
don't know.
exactly. Well, you know where that came from? Because I did research and they asked people what their favorite part about playing a board game was. And the research came back overwhelming that the favorite part of playing a game was opening it up. That was the number one response by a mile. and that's where the Legacy came from, because they Rob was who in charge of that, who started Legacy with like Risk. He saw that and said, okay, let's put as many things that they can open as possible, because they reinforces that feeling, and that's actually where it came from.
I totally get that, but there's also just something about destroying part of the game permanently.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, that too.
I like that.
Yeah, back in the day when we used to rip up Magic cards. Remember that, Chris and John?
I remember there was a card, that said, like, tear this card up and drop it, and whatever it touches is destroyed.
Chaos Orb.
Chaos Orb, yeah.
Yeah, quick question. What's the name of the boss in Chapter 2, and what's its weakness?
Yeah, right.
It doesn't have a weakness. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was a good one.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah, I mean, anything you guys want to know? Look, I'll open it up. Any questions?
Any questions? I'm opening up to the floor. I went through mine.
About specifically this adventure? I mean,
No, in general.
No. Well, we've been asking. I asked the questions I had.
No, I actually had my question. Actually, I'd love to play.
I'm looking forward to seeing you at PaizoCon.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys. We may have met in the past.
I think we might have. You used to play with Nerd NYC, right? That was your
yeah.
Do you know Seth?
Oh, wow.
Seth Lipton?
Yeah, I think so.
He's a really tall guy, 6'10".
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
And Chris and I played a long adventure with Rob Tamarco as well. It's
Shout out to Rob Tamarco.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, guess what? This is your life. Rob Tamarco, will you please stand up?
What?
Hey.
Well, hello, everybody.
God, no.
I was wondering who Meats was.
Well, get ready for several hours of this.
You son of a...
Yeah.
Can I curse? Can I curse on this?
Of course.
No,
Oh,
say a space curse.
It's after 9.
You son of a Bliznark.
Who invited Rob?
What's up, everybody?
Hey, how's it going?
On your podcast, casting your pods.
Nice.
Well, we can edit it later.
Welcome.
Chris, Bob, hello. Please don't edit me out. It'll be weird.
Yeah, we won't edit you out. So for those who don't know, Rob, this is it's just a circle of life. So Rob and Jason are very good friends. And then Rob played an adventure with Chris and Bob and our friend Seth, who we were just talking about. So we all sort of know each other indirectly, which is just bizarre.
Yeah, I know it's like a chain of friendship.
That's awesome.
Well,
like chain lightning, but chain friendship.
In my case, I was a member of Nerd NYC, but I'll be honest, I didn't show up at a lot of events, just the occasional one. So
I'll forgive you.
And then you moved to Cleveland.
Yeah, that part was sad.
I also forgive Chris for not helping me kill a dragon in the Dragon's Demand.
Oh yeah, I forget. Did I show cowardice? I forget.
No, it wasn't. The dragon was very negotiatingly evil.
Right.
And you were like, well, if we just give it money, he won't hurt anybody. He just wants this thing. I'm like, it's a dragon. It's Dungeons and Dragons. Please.
You should kill it. Yeah.
Please help me kill a dragon.
Chris was actually willing to give money to someone.
Yeah. He was a bard. He was great. He was a tank he tanked for us. But he would not kill that dragon, and I was mad. But then also he sells meat to people, so I forgive him.
I do sell meat. Not dragon meat, I wish.
Chris as a tank, let's be clear, was more often than not way at the back of the whole combat, telling everybody else to rush towards the monster and that he'd catch up later.
I think
he had a good
supporting.
tactic.
I was supporting people, I believe, was a support.
Yeah, he did some bardy things, and it was ultimately we had some really good tactics when we fought some undead monstrosity in a hallway. It was we had a polearm fighter who would reach over the front player who was, I think we put the bard in front at that point. And I was a cleric just kind of heal bursting or heal damaging. And we beat it, and it was glorious.
It was. Those were good times.
And I was a ranger, so I shot my bow. And in the next fight, I shot my bow. And then
you shoot that bow. You roll those dice and shoot that bow, buddy.
Yeah, that was my strategy.
So, Jason, Rob is actually also coming to PaizoCon with us.
I'm going to be there.
You broke this news to me, and after he told me he wasn't coming.
Everyone can all play together. We have all the streams crossing.
That's great. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. We're going to get so drunk.
And Rob has to share the room with Bob.
All right, Bob, I just want to let you know, I have a few things just to cover.
Some ground rules, right?
I have something called the Night Screams.
The night terrors?
The Night Screams.
The night screams.
I just had night scream.
All of Bob's roommates have the exact same thing whenever they have to spend with Bob, so that's nothing unusual.
Yeah,
it's not a problem, especially because I smell terrible. So I actually think this is going to be much
Bob's
worse
allergic to water, so yeah.
That will fit right in with my uncontrolled flatulence that accompany the night screams.
Well, let me tell you about my roommate, Mr. Chris Beamer over there. Yeah, we know a little bit about uncontrolled. We were roommates for a number of years as well. So
Here we go.
That was back in the 90s.
yes,
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, and now you're a middle-aged man, so it's not prettier than it was then.
in different cities.
That's great.
Thanks again, Jason, for joining us and answering those questions. Also, Jason and Rob join us as NPCs in a couple of weeks. They do some crazy stuff, so be on the lookout for that as well. As for the next item on the list, the PaizoCon contest. I bet that got a lot of people's attention. So once again, that's right, we're going to be giving away here at Roll for Combat free airfare to PaizoCon, free hotel room, and a free badge, which includes the banquet. You'll be flying in Thursday, May 24th, flying out Monday, May 28th, and this is open to all residents of the continental U.S. Sorry about anyone else outside. For those of you outside the continental U.S., the flights just have to occur within the continental U.S. So if you live in Canada, you can probably just drive a little, get to the U.S., and then fly from there. So it's not that only people from the U.S. can enter, it's that the flights are only covered. So actually, if you do live somewhere else and just want the free hotel and badge and can get here yourself, congratulations, you can still enter. It just won't include the airfare. So how do you enter this contest? Well, first of all, it's going to require you to listen to the show over the next few weeks. And we're going to be asking you questions. At the end of a couple of weeks, we'll be asking you to submit all those answers to all those questions to us. And then we are going to be picking a lucky winner. The second item is you must join and be a member of the Roll for Combat Discord channel. For those of you who don't know what Discord is, it's a combination chat room and bulletin board system. There's a whole bunch of nice people in there. We talk about Paizo products. We talk about role-playing games. We talk about video games. We talk about gaming in general. In addition, we play-by-post Starfinder Society games. Maybe we'll expand that into Pathfinder. Who knows? But do join us. To join us, just go to discord.rollforcombat.com and follow the directions to join the Discord channel. So this week's question is, when the PCs arrived back at the station, who were the groupies that showed up for Hiroji? So that's the question. Try not to share that, please, with people on the boards. Again, unless you want to give out the prize to other people, I would suggest you keep that to yourself and just listen to the show. It's not that hard. So once again, do listen next week and we'll have another question relevant to that show. And once you have all of them, we will give you the information on how to enter in a few weeks. So finally, I wanted to thank everyone, especially anyone who's new to the show. Do check us out at rollforcombat.com. On Thursdays, we have a Talking Combat segment in which Jason McDonald goes through each episode in detail, what his thoughts were, and sort of gives you the point of view from a PC. He does a really great job, and it comes out every Thursday morning. Plus, don't forget to go to the Discord channel, not only so you can enter the contest, but we have pictures and maps of everything that occurs. Since it's kind of hard to follow along sometimes, everything you need to know and all the pictures and the maps and the images of the monsters they fight, all of that is on the Discord channel. You can see exactly what the PCs see. Also, don't forget, check us out on Facebook. Do subscribe to us on iTunes. It really helps. Do check us out on Twitter. And we actually have a Patreon. I don't really pump that too much, but if you feel like helping out the show, it does help out. Do contribute to the Patreon. We are going to be giving out some things there. Maybe we'll put out the lost episode of the combat from earlier in this episode that I decided not to include. We also have sometimes extra interview segments that we put up. So we're going to be putting up a little bit more in the near future. Otherwise, have a good week, and I'll talk to you next week.
You've been listening to Roll for Combat, a Starfinder actual play podcast. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com or drop us a line at contact@rollforcombat.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and other social media platforms. You've been listening to Roll for Combat. Until next week, always remember Hiroji's motto, I've got the skills to pay the bills.